Just a minute.
संजय भाई शुरू कर दें.
ओके मैम स्क्रीन शेयर कर सकते हैं. ओके
ओके.
मैम any problem in your screen share?
No, I
Okay.
can.
So
You
with
want...
your okay. With your permission, we start our session. Okay. Vimal bhai, go ahead.
Okay. A very good morning to one and all on this beautiful Saturday. Myself, CA Vimal Bhuva, on behalf of Varacha Katargam CP Study Circle, I warmly welcomes you all. Before we move ahead, I would request all the members to put your hand on heart for ICI motto song.
Yaesha sukteshu jagrati Yaesha sukteshu jagrati Kamam 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 kamursho Pursho nirvimanaha nirvimanaha Tadeva shukram prada brahma prada brahma Tadeva amritam muchyate Tasmin lokaha shataha Sarve tadunatyati kashchan Etadvaita 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 etadvaita.
Thank you, everyone. Today we gathered here through virtual mode to get the knowledge on the topic of e-commerce under GST laws. Friends, today we are living in the 21st century and day by day, e-commerce transactions is increasing rapidly. In the view of this, even government introduced some new provisions through GST, which was not there before commencement of GST laws. E-commerce transactions look a bit complicated because many transactions are happening simultaneously. Thus, when a person is buying goods on Amazon, two transactions are happening simultaneously. The supplier is supplying goods through e-commerce portal, and e-commerce portal is supplying services to the supplier. Both the transactions are different transactions and subject to GST in its own nature. When very big quote by Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba, for e-commerce firms, the three most important infrastructure items are information flow, cash flow, and delivery. With this, I'm sure with our learned speaker, today we will be having lots of information and knowledge in the topic of e-commerce under GST laws. To give detailed, in-depth knowledge and give justice to the topic, today we have invited a very talented, young and charming guest of speaker, CA Aanchal Kapoor. Now, I would request CA Prashant Vekaria to give a formal introduction of our today's guest of speaker, CA Aanchal Kapoor ji. Thank you.
Am I audible?
Yes, Prashant bhai, please go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Vimal bhai. Thank you, VKCP, for giving me such an opportunity. It is my honor and great pleasure to introduce our today's learned speaker, CA Aanchal Kapoor ma'am. She is in practice since last 10 years in the field of indirect tax. She has practical exposure in the field of GST by handling various departmental works, including appellate work. She is a joint secretary of All India Federation of Tax Professionals for the year 2020-21. She is delivered 500 plus seminars and webinars on GST to members and industry across India. She is approved faculty at NACIN GST Officers Training Cell. She is faculty for various certified courses on GST. She authored various articles on GST published from time to time in AIFTP Journal, Taxman, Tax Management India, ACAE Journal, Tax Guru, etc. She is approved faculty of ICAI. She is done various certified courses on GST, including GST certified course from ICAI. She is an active member of ITRAA, Independent Tax Research and Analysis Association. She is qualified in first attempt at Chartered Accountant in 2009. She is in merit list at various levels as a rank holder in CA, gold medalist in graduation, and also LLB. She is done forensic audit and fraud detection courses conducted by ICI. With this brief introduction, I request C. Aanchal Kapoor ma'am to take over the charge. Please, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Prashantji, for the introduction. And I'm very thankful to VKCP Study Circle for giving me this opportunity to interact on this platform. Convener CA Sanjay ji and Deputy Convener CA Arun ji. And Ketan ji, who managed the entire show. And thank you, Vimal ji, for bringing us on this platform together. So with this, my dear friends, I can see the lovely audience which is with all of us. So can I see a thumbs up from all of them, that or a hi or a good morning, that we have gathered on this lovely Saturday morning? You know, it shows your urge to learn, gathering in the morning at this time. Can I see, friends, I have a rule. We can't meet, as sir said, due to pandemic or otherwise we are meeting virtually. It has its own pros and cons. But what I want, that I don't want that I am interacting with this black box. I am interacting with the people who are sitting beside it. Am I right? Sir, would you prefer a Hindi-English mix and English only or Hindi only? How you want me to proceed with it? Mix. Okay, my friends are giving the messages mix. Chaliye, theek hai. So we will use a mixed language today. Great to see you, Monica ji, Jignesh ji, Bhavesh ji, Vicky ji. Great to see the names on the screen. Yes, good morning, Shruti ji. So friends, we are going to learn a very, very interesting topic, as Vimal ji also talked about, that nowadays everything is being surrounded by the e-commerce, internet. You know, now to even when a child is born, after 1.5 years, he or she doesn't go to school, and we make them sit in front of the laptop itself. They also know. I told to my daughter, I want to shop. She said, how you want to shop? Online or you want to go to the market? So this is what the age may be. Maybe our elders at our home, they also know, okay, mujhe online dikha dena, ye cheez kaisi hai. Then get it for me. Am I right? So we are all surrounded by this digital world, and this is what the transactions we are going to do today, discuss what the GST impacts are. And recently we have seen a number of changes in various circulars, through notifications, the restaurant services, khana, jana, ana, jana, motor vehicle, sab e-commerce ke through available hai. So are you all ready? Can I see a few thumbs up? Should I share my screen? Should I share my screen? हाँ, इतना कष्ट तो सबको करना पड़ेगा, थोड़ा सा आगे होके लैपटॉप का बटन जरूर दबाना पड़ेगा, right? But I want to interact with you, and I will stop in taking up the issues if I see that the chat box is not going full. Yes, I can see Naresh ji, Kamlesh ji, and few other members also. Let me make it a slideshow. Here, great. Chaliye friends, so you can see a colorful PPT in front of you. I always believe in colors, although I'm wearing a white today, but I have tried to make this PPT colorful so that we can enjoy with each other this session other than the learning, right? So friends, let me ask you a few questions. You are going to test my knowledge. I am also going to test your knowledge first of all. So if I ask you, Is Netflix an e-commerce operator? Yes or no? Quickly. Yes or no? Is, friends, one thing more I would like to highlight here. Wrong or right answer does not matter. Rather, who gives wrong answers learns more. What I think so. So give the answers. We are here to learn from each other. Me from you, you from me. So give the answers. So you all are saying yes, they are e-commerce operator, except one answer which just went away up on the screen was no. Other than all of you have mentioned yes. Okay. So you all watch series. You all watch series. Amazon, Prime Video, Netflix. Are those e-commerce operators? So you all are saying yes, Vimlesh ji, Shruti ji, Akta ji, Jignesh ji. Okay, we are going to enjoy the session, right? Great. Okay, now tell me, is Amazon an e-commerce operator? Okay, let's talk something professional. Is Taxman an e-commerce operator? My purpose is not to take the law. My purpose is what we see around us all the days. Let's talk about that. Is Taxman an e-commerce operator? So you all are saying yes. My dear friends, let me tell you what all examples I give. Out of those, many were not e-commerce operators. Netflix, I talked about, is not an e-commerce operator. Prime Video, I talked about, is not an e-commerce operator. Then Amazon I talked about definitely is an e-commerce operator. Then we talked about Taxman. I will divide Taxman into various parts. So ultimately I would say on some parts Taxman is not an e-commerce operator. Yes, when it's supplying books, that's another thing. But when we access to the database of Taxman, let me tell you, my dear friends, it's not e-commerce operator, right? So what is that? If you can see it on my screen, it is OIDAR. Now, what is the difference between? We will discuss it at length, but let me tell you, e-commerce operator is where the other person should be present. Human intervention. Now you see Amazon. Yes, there is supplier on the other side. He's guaranteeing you, look, Miss Namrata or Mr. Jignesh, we are having the product, we will be supplying you. वो तो ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर है. लेकिन अगर मैं बोलूं कि Amazon पे आप दीपिका पादुकोण की या कैटरीना कैफ की मूवी देख रहे हैं, तो क्या कैटरीना कैफ का सामने होना जरूरी है? आंसर इज नो. Automation, no human intervention. That is OIDAR services. When you are listening to enjoying the music on Gaana.com, तो क्या सामने एक्टर्स का परफॉर्मेंस पर प्रेजेंट होना, परफॉर्म करना जरूरी है? द आंसर इज नो. सो दोनों में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक प्लेटफॉर्म का अवेलेबिलिटी है. ई-कॉमर्स इज ऑल्सो थ्रू इलेक्ट्रॉनिक प्लेटफॉर्म, OIDAR इज ऑल्सो थ्रू इलेक्ट्रॉनिक प्लेटफॉर्म. दोनों में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक प्लेटफॉर्म जरूरी है, बट ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन डिफरेंट है. सो उनको हम क्लासिफाई करेंगे OIDAR. बट पहले हम स्टार्ट करते हैं विद द ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर. Let's start with the e-commerce operator. Friends, okay, just tell me, क्या e-commerce operator RCM है? Let me ask you a few questions, then we will deep dive into what the law says. RCM क्यों? पे तो सामने वाला कर रहा है, opposite side कर रही है, supplier नहीं कर रहा. Is it a type of RCM? Yes or no? Yes or no? आज फिंगर्स का थोड़ा सा एक्सरसाइज तो हम लैपटॉप पे और ऑन आवर स्क्रीन्स ऑन मोबाइल फोन्स वी विल डू. Yes or no? I want to see the answers. No. No. Okay, it's not a type of RCM. Absolutely correct, Kamlesh ji and Bhavesh ji. And those who have not answered, they might be on both the sides. No, it is different from RCM. It is not RCM. We will talk about what e-commerce operator is, what, the very first, हमारा charging section, which is the charging section of CGST Act. Which is the charging section of CGST Act? It is section 9. Section 9 में ही itself e-commerce operator की बात कही गई है. So let's have a look on the charging section. If you go by the charging section, section 9, subsection 1, subsection 2, subsection 3, subsection 4. Subsection 3 और subsection 4 RCM provisions के साथ deal करते हैं. 9 सबसेक्शन 4 में बहुत कम गुड्स और सर्विसेज नोटिफाइड है, जैसे कि हमारा रियल एस्टेट नोटिफाइड है, क्योंकि अनरजिस्टर्ड से ट्रांजैक्शन वहां कट ऑफ हो गया था। 9 सबसेक्शन 5 एक हमारा चार्जिंग सेक्शन है जिसमें ई कॉमर्स की बात करी गई है। बट इफ यू कैन सी इट ऑन माय स्क्रीन, आई हैव हाईलाइटेड द वर्ड सर्विसेज। 9, अब एक बात याद रखना, मैं बाद में पूछूंगी, 9 सबसेक्शन 5 में ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर की बात जरूर कही गई है, दैट हैज बीन मेंशन्ड ओवर देयर, बट 9 सबसेक्शन 5 में ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर इज ओनली ऑफ द सर्विसेज, ओनली ऑफ द सर्विसेज. We will not discuss what is 9.5 wala e-commerce operator, what it talks about, but the main issue is, which I want to highlight, that if the very first charging section of our CGST Act, section 9 subsection 5 talks about e-commerce operator of services, right? What it talks about, that I will let you know, but iski ek proviso hai. What is that proviso? E-commerce operator if does not have a physical presence in a particular taxable territory, तो तुम्हें वहां अपना person representing the e-commerce operator रखना है. If you don't have a physical presence, for example, मेरा ऑफिस, मैं e-commerce operator हूं, मेरा ऑफिस दिल्ली में है, बट मैं और जगह पे भी ट्रांजैक्ट कर रहा हूं, I should have the physical presence of, if I don't have the physical presence, I must appoint a representative in that state, right? So थोड़ा सा आइडिया हमें 9 सबसेक्शन 5 ने दिया कि ओके, ये ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर ऑफ सर्विसेज की बात करता है, और अगर कहीं पे इनकी फिजिकल प्रेजेंस नहीं है ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर की, सो दे मस्ट ऑपरेट अ रिप्रेजेंटेटिव. इट अप्लाइज टू द सेम ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर्स ऑल्सो which are operating from outside India. Abhi sir was Vimalji was talking about Alibaba, right? We will be talking about all the e-commerce operators, most of them jitne main janti hu, although I am not fond of so much online transactions, kyunki mere jaisa person to mangwa le to uske baad वापस करना ही भूल जाता, that keeps lying in my car or at my home, so I prefer to go and get that. Right? Chaliye, analysis of e-commerce operator in GST. E-commerce operator, my dear friends, yes, it is a defined term under GST. E-commerce भी defined है और e-commerce operator भी defined है. E-commerce क्या है? It is a means definition which is given by none other than section 2 clause 44, and I hope I am right in saying clause 44, and I will not read it as subsection 44, because subsection tab hota hai when the next section is dependent upon the previous section, and each definition is exclusive, ek dusre se interlink nahi hoti hai definition. So I will read it as 2 clause 44. Friends, 2 clause 44 said e-commerce means when you are supplying the goods or the services or the both. क्या सर्विसेज सप्लाई हो सकती है ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर के थ्रू? यस, बायजूस. ओके, क्या और भी कोई सर्विसेज? Yes, there are a number of services, Reiki services, various other services that are getting supplied through e-commerce. Your taxman also is supplying a certain sort of services, but is not an e-commerce operator. Human intervention nahi hai. But however, e-commerce operator nahi hai. But e-commerce means digital platforms to hai. When we are supplying the goods or services or both, some electronic digital products also. Now, what are the examples of digital product? Here it is. Online gaming are digital products. E-books are digital products. Swipe files are digital products. So even if you are supplying goods, or you are supplying services, or you are supplying digital products, over what? Digital or electronic network is e-commerce operator. Is e-commerce. Now, what about e-commerce operator? Yes, section 2 clause 45 deals with e-commerce operator. E-commerce operator means any person. Please read the definition carefully. Any person who owns, operates, or manages. Friends, it is not a person who is supplier. It is only a person who is managing things for you, who owns, operates, or manages a digital or electronic facility or platform for electronic commerce operator. Yesterday, I was given a message to talk about some accounting aspects of e-commerce also. So I will be deliberating from same point of view, including that points. Friends, listen, in e-commerce, there are three parties that are involved. What are those three parties? One is the supplier. The e-commerce is not a supplier. Supplier is somebody else. E-commerce is a person who is managing the platform. And who is the third person? Is the receiver. So the person who is managing the digital or electronic platform or the facility is called as e-commerce operator. This is important when I will be talking about how the e-commerce operator have their networks, right? Chaliye. Now let's move ahead. What are the models of e-commerce? Anybody who can tell me about the models of e-commerce? If you can write it in the chat box, keep writing. Even I will keep enjoying by taking your names, at least if we are not able to see each other face to face. D2C, B2C, I think so. Rahulji, you want to talk about it? Mistakenly typed D2C. All right, friends, let me talk about certain traditional models. So Rahulji has referred a model B2C, which is a traditional model. पुराने टाइम पे ऐसे ही मॉडल्स चलते थे, आज भी कुछ ऐसे हैं जिसमें हम कहते थे हमारी ट्रांजैक्शन B2B है, B2C है, government business to government है, government to business. I have given you few examples of that. B2B, Amazon business. अच्छा एक बात बताइए फ्रेंड्स, अगर आप Amazon से एक लैपटॉप परचेज करते हैं, I want everybody to write it in the chat box. अगर आप Amazon से लैपटॉप परचेज करते हैं, can you give your GST number? Can you give your GST number? Yes or no? Yes, yes, yes. Friends, Amazon does not permit, absolutely right, the one who wrote no. Sir, Amazon does not permit you, it issues a B2C invoice. Who wrote no? I could not see. Amazon does not permit you to give your GST number. It says it's a B2C model. अगर आपको GST number देना है तो आपको business की तरह register होना पड़ेगा. Amazon business allows. Absolutely, Jignesh ji. Absolutely, Vishal ji. This is what I wanted to highlight, and this is what the example I have given. Amazon business allows. अगर आप normal Amazon site पे जाते हैं, they will not allow because that is the portal they are maintaining B2C. So Amazon business allows you that if you want to give your GST number and want to take the credit of it, then it should be a B2B portal, Amazon business. B2C, you all know, normal Amazon, normal eBay and other sites are B2C, business to government transactions between the companies, between the public sectors, business to government. Likewise, reverse auction is consumer to business, consumer to consumer. OLX, eBay are consumer to consumer, one selling, another purchasing, C2C transaction. Consumer to government transactions, likewise, government to business, government invite tenders. So these are the some traditional types of models that we have seen operating. Now let me talk about the few new models that are marketplace model, inventory model, service aggregators, hypermarket, m-commerce. So let's start with the m-commerce first of all. Friends, m-commerce is mobile commerce. Mobile apps, through apps, certain sites, they work on through apps only. They don't work through the, I give you an example of children, they do QMath. So QMath is an app which works, your mobile banking. Mobile banking is an app. So m-commerce is when we are using the wireless technology, electronic media through the mobiles is m-commerce. Now, once I move to m-commerce, let me talk about the very first model. M-commerce was this much only, not much. Let me talk about the marketplace model. Friends, the marketplace model is the most prevalent model which Amazon and Flipkart are using. So marketplace model, what happens? Now let me talk about the entire marketplace model. Okay, let me ask you, when you purchase the goods, there is a Beauty Bazaar Bombay, which is an Amazon registered supplier. If I ask you, Beauty Bazaar Bombay hai, BB we call it as, आपने Amazon से एक product मंगवाया, you wanted to have a good shirt or some good attire, so some apparels you ordered. Now, whose invoice you will get? Amazon invoice or Beauty Bazaar invoice? Be quick in answering. Amazon invoice or Beauty Bazaar invoice? As ab sare jab bills आएंगे ना, you just open. Vimlesh ji saying Amazon, Hiren ji saying BB. अरे ये तो फंस गई मैं, कोई तो majority लाओ, Amazon or BB. So Akta ji saying Beauty Bazaar. If I pronounce any name wrongly, so please excuse me. So the majority going for BB, Beauty Bazaar. Absolutely correct. The supplier is Beauty Bazaar, so you will be getting the Beauty Bazaar invoice. Now let me ask you one more question. When you travel through Ola, which invoice you get? Which invoice you get? Who will issue you the invoice? Hirenji is saying Ola. Why there is a difference? There is a difference because their models are different. They are different because their models are different. In marketplace model, my dear friends, there are three parties involved: supplier, e-commerce operator, and the customer. Now what happens? E-commerce is just providing a platform. How the process works? E-commerce operator, it displays its online products. You get fascinated by those products. You get the product informations, marketing promotions, and it provides some sort of user interface. For all these charges, they charge a commission, which is the income of the e-commerce operator. After that, the customer looks into all these products, views the product, select the online, and places an order with the e-commerce site. It then goes to the supplier. E-commerce operator goes to the supplier. Supplier ensures the availability. Yes, I have the availability. I can ship the product. I can make it available. Now, in this case, order payment is made to e-commerce operator and the goods are delivered by the supplier to the customer. So supplier is the third person. So that is why it's supplier who raises the invoice. So tax invoice, the GST charge invoice is a normal supply by the supplier to e-commerce operator. A normal tax invoice will be raised. E-commerce operator, you got the payment, you will deduct your commission and will remit the amount to the supplier. Now, in this case, e-commerce operator, it means e-commerce. Okay, now I ask you, how many registrations e-commerce will have to take? How many registrations will e-commerce have to take? Quickly. How many registrations will e-commerce? Vicky ji saying 2. Akta ji saying 2. Bhavesh ji, very rightly mentioned. Okay. Friends, e-commerce have to take 2 registration. You all are correct. But my answer will change when I will say e-commerce will have to take registration in all the states from wherever it is operating. Absolutely correct, Prashant ji. You are right. Otherwise, every e-commerce operator has to take 2 registrations. One for its own income, commission, normal registration, like we people take. Commission is the income of e-commerce operator for which it is going to file GSTR 3, normal. Another as an e-commerce operator for TCS under section 52. So e-commerce, you have to take 2 registration. You are liable to collect. When you are collecting the payment, you are liable to take the TCS out of it and remit the balance amount to supplier. So 1 registration as a TCS person, as an e-commerce operator, 1 normal registration. And yes, you all are correct in saying that these registration of e-commerce operator will go state-wise, right? Now, supplier, you also have to state in your outward supply return that I am making the sale through e-commerce operator. Many of you might be saying कि मैडम पहले तो एक बटन आया करता था चेक बॉक्स जिसको हम टिक करते थे कि I am a supplier, I am supplying the goods or services through e-commerce operator. अब वो नहीं आता है. वो आता है अगर आप ऑफलाइन यूटिलिटी यूज करते हैं. अगर आप ऑनलाइन यूटिलिटी यूज करते हैं तो वो चेक इन बॉक्स नहीं आता है. सो इफ यू वांट टू टेक दैट अ पर्टिकुलर सप्लाई इज थ्रू द ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर, प्लीज यूज द ऑफलाइन यूटिलिटी. और जो टीसीएस आपका ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर काटता है, यू कैन टेक द क्रेडिट ऑफ दैट. सो सप्लायर, अच्छा ओके, लेट मी आस्क यू वन मोर थिंग. टीसीएस का क्रेडिट कैश लेजर में आता है कि क्रेडिट लेजर में आता है? टीसीएस का क्रेडिट कैश लेजर में आता है कि कैश और क्रेडिट? See, I have such a knowledgeable audience. Absolutely correct. Cash ledger. Cash ledger. Absolutely correct. Chaliye. So this was a model. Okay. You know, for Amazon, it is famous. It is the largest retailer with zero inventory. It's the largest retailer with no outlets. Why? Amazon does not maintain the inventories. Amazon asks the supplier to make the delivery. Flipkart asks the supplier to make the delivery. And this is the most prevalent model in India, as against the second model, which is inventory model. This model, Alibaba Group, Alibaba China uses this model. In this case, Alibaba says, wait, I'm not going to contact the supplier. In this, my dear friends, there will be two parties involved. Alibaba purchases the goods from the supplier first, maintains its own inventory, and then supply it to the customer. So now tell me, supply to the customer is through the electronic platform. But will it be classified as a normal e-commerce? It is an inventory model. No invoice from the supplier. Now, supplier and e-commerce are one and the same person for the customer. It is a normal supply, a normal. In this case, the invoice will come of Alibaba China. Tax invoice will normally be issued as a normal supply. Customer will make payment to e-commerce operator, and there is no question of TCS in this case. No question of TCS. E-commerce operator has already made the payment to the supplier, already purchased the goods, now supplying it to the customer. My dear friends, due to the high level of intricacies and the formalities involved in this type of model, the governmental formalities, this model is not so popular in India, but it's very popular in China. But now Amazon has started entering into inventory model also. You know how? Now you order the batteries from Amazon. You will see many products that are named with Amazon batteries. Is that so? Is that so? Yes. In that case, Amazon is using inventory model. Amazon basics. See, Jignesh ji कितनी shopping करते हैं. Jignesh ji, कभी-कभी speakers को भी and others को भी gifts भी कर देने चाहिए. Right? चलिए. So I expect जल्दी आ जाएगा. Amazon basics. Absolutely correct. चलिए, let's keep the jokes apart. So we talked about the second model, which is the inventory model. Now, moving ahead is the third model, which is not actually a model, but a made model, hypermarket model. Amazon used this hypermarket model. Eradicate the others, finish the opposition, finish the competitors selling below the market price. Many sites have been using it. Sometimes the hotels, Amazon used it. Many of you must have eaten the pizza in ₹1. Initially, they introduced. Offering services even below the cost price, offering the goods even below the cost price, operating on losses, eventually eradicating the competition, and then became the market leaders. Amazon has successfully implemented this model where the products have even been sold at the lower price. Does not matter to GST. GST takes the transaction value into consideration. If the Amazon is selling at 100 rupees, although the purchase is at 120, 100 will be taken as a transaction value until or unless the two persons are related persons. So it was not a model, but sometimes at various places hypermarket model is mentioned. So I have mentioned it for all of you just for introducing the concept. But ये भी model कैसे चलेगा? या तो as an inventory model चलेगा या फिर as a marketplace model chalega. So it is not a separate type of model. Next model is aggregate model. Ola, aggregator model. Friends, ये model services के लिए ज़्यादा popular model है. In this, the difference is only this. आपको पहले invoice beauty bazaar का आ रहा था. You all said, but Ola में you said no. The invoice will be of Ola itself. You know why so? Because in this aggregator model, the brand name of the aggregator is taken. Other reason भी बताऊंगी क्योंकि ये 9-5 के operators भी है. Invoice उसकी वजह से भी aggregator का आता है. But aggregator model is where the aggregator uses its own brand name. This is the only distinction between the aggregator and other e-commerce operator like marketplace model, that, and it is more popular model in services where the underlying service is provided by somebody else, but the brand name of Ola and Uber are being used. So we talked about the various models on the older regime models also, the traditional model which we call as B2B, B2C, Amazon Prime, Amazon, no, not Amazon Prime, Amazon Business and Amazon Basics we talked about, aggregator model we talked about, and various other models, right? चलिए, अब जब हमने models की बात कर ली, तो let's come back to the law. मैंने आपको बोला था 9 subsection 5 charging section और IGST का 5 subsection 5 charging section, दोनों में ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर की बात करी गई है, राइट फ्रेंड्स? 9 subsection 5 और 5 subsection 5 के ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर सिर्फ सर्विसेज के ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर हो सकते हैं. कैन एनीबडी टेल मी 9 subsection 5 में और 5 subsection 5 में कौन सी सर्विसेज कवर्ड है? विच सर्विसेज? अच्छा पहले नंबर ही बता दो. हाउ मेनी सर्विसेज आर कवर्ड इन 9 subsection 5 और 5 subsection 5? 9 subsection 5 और 5 subsection 5 में कितनी सर्विसेज कवर्ड है? नाउ यू आर नॉट अलाउड टू गूगल. हाँ, इतना टाइम तो गूगल करने पे ही लगता है आंसर देने में. जयेश जी, आई वॉज एक्सपेक्टिंग 3. एनीबडी एल्स? माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, इट्स 4 नाउ. It used to be 3 till 31st December 2021. Now it is 4. Addition made the restaurant services. Am I right, Jayesh ji? So let's have a look. Friends, अब 9 subsection 5 में अब सबने मुझे कहा e-commerce ना RCM से different है. Yes, I also hold the same view that it is different. Now have a look. इस केस में फ्रेंड्स 3 पार्टीज थी. हु? सप्लायर, सप्लायर, ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर, and third one was the receiver. Am I right? Now there were certain services for which the government said, look, it is, friends, there is a difference between goods and services. For goods, there is a trail available. What is the movement? Who is supplying? Mobile wings are there. They catch hold of the goods. But for the services, there is no trail available. I mean, it was difficult for government to catch hold of small, what we call as keepers, electrician, plumbers, drivers, small restaurants, small hotels. Government said, look, the cost is going to be higher. So what they said, that instead of the supplier, we don't know the supplier. What they said, we don't know the supplier. E-commerce operator, you will be the deemed supplier. Please look, I am not saying it is RCM. I am saying deemed supplier. Is the audio clear? I don't know.
Now it's okay, madam. Please continue.
Okay, there was some disturbance in between. All right. Anyhow, so friends, what they said, supplier, we don't know you. E-commerce operator, you will be the deemed supplier. You will step into the shoes. It means for the services, that are covered under 9 subsection 5. For GST purposes, there will be 2 parties. Actually, there are 3. But for GST purpose, there will be 2 supply parties only. E-commerce and the supplier are clubbed together, and the another party is the receiver. So now I ask you one question: क्या कोई खुद का TCS काटेगा? Will anybody deduct its own TCS? Yes or no? No, absolutely, Tirath Raj ji. No. That is why 9(5) के ऑपरेटर्स में, सर्विस ऑपरेटर्स में TCS का प्रोविजन लगता ही नहीं है, बिकॉज GST बोलता है हमारे लिए तो सप्लायर है ही नहीं. अब आई से मिस्टर एस है, मिस्टर एस ने अपनी गाड़ी ओला को दी. हु इज द एक्चुअल सप्लायर? मिस्टर एस. ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर ओला था, लेकिन फॉर GST पर्पस ओला तुम ही सप्लायर हो. दैट इज वाई ओला के केस में इनवॉइस ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर का ही आता है. टैक्स इनवॉइस, GST इनवॉइस ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर का आएगा, बिकॉज फॉर GST पर्पसेस there is no other Mr. S as supplier. It is only the e-commerce operator Ola which is the supplier supplying services to the receiver. Ola is the person who is the e-commerce operator only. तो अगर मैं GST रिटर्न की बात करूं तो ओला तुम्हारी रिटर्न में ही आउटवर्ड सप्लाईज जाएंगी, बिकॉज यू आर द डीम्ड सप्लायर फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ GST. अब 9 subsection 5 में till now, my dear friends, 3 services listed थी as highlighted by Jayesh जी. लेकिन अभी 1/1/2022 से गवर्नमेंट ने इसमें 4th सर्विस लिस्ट कर दी, दैट इज रेस्टोरेंट सर्विसेज. सो दिस इज 9(5) की सर्विसेज. इसके अलावा 9(5) की और कोई सर्विस नहीं आएगी. हैव अ लुक. अब इसमें चेंजेस भी हुए. आई एम टेकिंग द चेंजेस ऑल्सो जो 1/1/2022 से एप्लीकेबल है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, पहले ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ पैसेंजर्स कवर थी, ओला एंड उबेर, ऑल वर कवर्ड. नाउ दे सेड ओला transport of passengers by a radio taxi, motor cab, maxi cab, motorcycle, omnibus, other motor vehicles also got included. Even the auto rickshaws got included. और आपने सुना होगा ऑटो रिक्शा वाले अदरवाइज एग्जेम्प्ट थे, अदरवाइज वो GST से आज भी एग्जेम्प्ट है, लेकिन अगर वो सर्विसेज ई-कॉमर्स के थ्रू प्रोवाइड करेंगे तो ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर तुम डीम्ड सप्लायर हो, तुम्हें GST देना पड़ेगा. इसका मतलब अब जब उन्होंने अदर मोटर व्हीकल भी कवर कर दिए तो ट्रांसपोर्ट ऑफ पैसेंजर्स जो ऐसे नॉन कंडीशनड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कैरेजेस थे, नॉन AC बसेस थी, या मीटर्ड कैब्स थी, या ऑटो रिक्शास थे जो अदरवाइज एग्जेम्प्ट थे, लेकिन अगर वो ई-कॉमर्स के थ्रू सर्विस प्रोवाइड करेंगे तो उस सर्विस पे GST लगेगा, पर्सन पे नहीं लगेगा. अब एग्जाम्पल लेके चलते हैं. एक ऑटो रिक्शा वाला है, एक मोटरसाइकिल है, एक मैक्सी कैब है. अगर वो ओला के थ्रू जाएंगे फॉर GST पर्पस, there is no auto person, there is no motor cab person, there is no any other person, omnibus person, any person, कोई भी supplier हो, for GST purpose the deemed supplier is Ola, Uber, Meru और एनी अदर ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर जिसके थ्रू वो बुक हुई है. तभी ऑटो रिक्शाज वालों ने ऑब्जेक्ट किया था कि आप ये डिस्टिंक्शन क्यों कर रहे हैं कि जब वो नॉर्मल ऑटो रिक्शा देता है तो वो एग्जेम्प्ट है सीरियल नंबर 15 एंड 17 में, लेकिन जब वो ई-कॉमर्स के थ्रू देगा, अरे उनको नहीं पे करना है, पे ओला और उबेर को करना है, पर सर्विस तो महंगी होती है ना. फॉर द कंज्यूमर इट गेट्स एक्सपेंसिव. जिस चीज पे GST नहीं लगता था उस चीज पे भी, ऑटो रिक्शा पे भी अगर ई-कॉमर्स के थ्रू ऑटो रिक्शा बुक होती है, देखो हम भी डिस्टिंक्शन करते हैं कि अच्छा गाड़ी इतने की है, ऑटो इतने का है. अगर तो मेरा टैक्स बचता, हम बोलते ठीक है ऑटो से चले जाते हैं. सो अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम द रिसीवर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू द सर्विस गॉट एक्सपेंसिव. नाउ दिस सेड if you are doing anything, any motor vehicle is being supplied through e-commerce operator, deemed supplier always e-commerce operator. अब देखिएगा, प्लीज माइंड द वर्ड्स, मैंने इस सप्लाई में लिखा है एनी पर्सन। अब मैं एक बात एग्जांपल देती हूँ। लेट्स सपोज एक ट्रिप कंपनी, ट्रिप नाम की एक एंटिटी है। ट्रिप की अपनी टर्नओवर 1 करोड़ है। वो मोटर कैब्स चलाते हैं, रेडियो टैक्सीज चलाते हैं, टैक्सेस रखी हुई हैं, ड्राइवर्स रखे हुए हैं, उनकी अपनी नॉर्मल टर्नओवर, जैसे हम लोकल किसी को कॉल करते हैं कि मुझे एक कैब भेज दीजिए, आई हैव टू गो टू मुंबई और आई हैव टू गो टू दैट पार्ट ऑफ अदर पार्ट ऑफ द सिटी और आउट ऑफ द सिटी, उसकी अपनी टर्नओवर 1 करोड़ है। इवन देन अगर वो कोई भी सप्लाई थ्रू ओला और उबेर करेगा, जो बुकिंग वो ओला और उबेर से उठाएगा, वो उसकी टर्नओवर जीएसटी में नहीं है। वो किसकी टर्नओवर है? ओला और उबेर की टर्नओवर है। एनी पर्सन, चाहे वो थ्रेशोल्ड से ऊपर हो, चाहे वो थ्रेशोल्ड से नीचे हो, ओला और उबेर तुम जो बुकिंग करोगे उसका सप्लायर तुम हो और तुम्हें ही उसका जीएसटी एलिमेंट डिस्चार्ज करना होगा। बट सेकेंड सर्विस में डिफरेंस है। होटल्स, inns, guest house, clubs, whatever name you give, which is being used for the residential or lodging purpose, example, Make My Trip and various others, Trivago and all, Go Ibibo, right? Make My Trip, I take the example, there is a difference. वहां पे मैंने कहा था कोई भी पर्सन हो, चाहे ट्रिप एडवाइजर जो था, जो कि अपनी वो भी रखता था, कैब्स भी रखता था, 1 करोड़ से ऊपर था, वो 20 लाख की एग्जेम्पशन लिमिट से ऊपर था, तब भी ई कॉमर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल था। लेकिन होटल लॉजिंग सर्विसेज में ऐसा नहीं है। आप अगर एमएमटी के थ्रू एक होटल और लॉज बुक कराते हैं, अगर वो होटल और लॉज 20 लाख से कम होगा, any person who is liable for registration under section C, यहां वर्ड्स थे any person except means ओला means MMT, तुम तभी जिम्मेदार हो अगर होटल क्लब गेस्ट हाउस 20 लाख से नीचे है। अगर 20 लाख से नीचे है, लेट्स सपोज उसकी टर्नओवर 15 लाख की है, वो होटल ओला गो अबीबो मेक माई ट्रिप की साइट पर रजिस्टर्ड है, तो उसके लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर होगा। और अगर वो थ्रेशोल्ड से ऊपर है तो होटल खुद रिस्पॉन्सिबल होगा। I take 2 examples. There is a hotel named MG and there is a hotel named Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn, although you are supplying through MMT, you are listed on MMT, but for you, e-commerce operator, MMT is not responsible. You yourself have to discharge the tax. It is not covered by 9 subsection 5. But MG Hotel, जिसका टर्नओवर 15 लाख रुपए का है, yes, MMT is responsible as a deemed supplier. अब you answer me a question. MG पे TCS लगेगा? Yes or no? और Holiday Inn पे TCS लगेगा? Yes or no? Please write M, yes or no. MG पे नहीं लगेगा, अक्ता जी कहते हैं, and Holiday पे yes. Any other? MG पे no. Akshita ji also saying the same. And Holiday Inn pe yes, because Holiday Inn will not get covered by 9 subsection 5. Great, Kamlesh ji. Great. Keep writing. I also enjoy that. Right? Chaliye, move ahead. Great. Holiday Inn pe lagega, because Holiday Inn 9.5 mein covered nahi hoga. And same is the case with housekeeping also. Urban Clap. दिवाली की सफाई करानी है, प्लम्बिंग का काम कराना है, कारपेंटर चाहिए, फॉर ऑल सच स्मॉल हाउसकीपिंग सर्विसेज, यू गो टू द साइट्स ऑनलाइन, कॉल द पर्सन्स, अर्बन क्लैप, तुम तब रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो अगर प्लम्बर 20 लाख से नीचे है। कारपेंटर, मैंने कहीं पे भी लिमिट 40 लाख नहीं बोली है, कारण मैं सर्विसेज की बात कर रही हूँ और सर्विसेज का थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट ऑल ओवर 20 lakhs है, except 4 states जहां 10 लाख है, उसको छोड़ दीजिए, right? Special states, leave that. Otherwise it is 20 lakhs. So अगर plumber, अब देखो ना, गवर्नमेंट के लिए it was very difficult to reach to every plumber, carpenter. They said leave. If they are below the threshold limit, grab the e-commerce operator. You will be the deemed supplier. The government, अब देखो गवर्नमेंट उस ट्रांजैक्शन पे भी टैक्स लगा रही है माय डियर फ्रेंड्स जो थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट से नीचे की ट्रांजैक्शन है. बट ओनली वैसे अगर नॉर्मल पर्सन कारपेंटर प्लम्बर होता तो दे वुड नॉट हैव बीन चार्ज टू टैक्स. बट बिकॉज दे आर यूजिंग, government wants to promote e-commerce platform, but levying tax, if auto rickshaw is through e-commerce, if housekeeping is through e-commerce, if plumbing is through e-commerce, see the irony of the situation. Right now, अगर इसी पे मैं आगे मूव करूं, नम्रता जी, I come to your question. Give me, चलिए नम्रता जी का क्वेश्चन साथ ही टेकअप कर लेती हूँ. If hotel is booked in or out of the country, so whether MMT will be held responsible? Sir, for the services of MMT, अगर आप होटल, अगर मैं कहती हूँ ऑपरेटर ने मुझे सर्विसेज दी, MMT कलेक्ट करेगा, यस. बट अगर आप नॉर्मल फॉरेन में होटल बुक कराते हो तो होटल चार्जेस के ऊपर नहीं लगता, बिकॉज उसका प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई आउटसाइड इंडिया हो जाता है एज पर द रूल्स ऑफ प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई. राइट नाउ, बट अगर आपसे ट्रेवल एजेंट्स MMT कलेक्ट करेगा, सो दे विल चार्ज फॉर इट. अगर सप्लाई ऑफ रेस्टोरेंट सर्विसेज, फोर्थ एडिशन, सप्लाई ऑफ रेस्टोरेंट सर्विसेज अदर देन द सर्विसेज सप्लाई. फ्रेंड्स, पहले स्विगी जोमेटो नहीं कवर्ड थे in case of 9 subsection 5 services, but now Swiggy, Zomato, all electronic platform, Food Panda, or from wherever you get the orders, they will be the deemed supplier. अगर कोई भी रेस्टोरेंट से सर्विसेज वो डिलीवर करते हैं, not only restaurants, they have covered eating joints, etc., all the places. But अगर वो रेस्टोरेंट और ईटिंग जॉइंट एक ऐसे होटल के अंदर है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी टेक द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ रेडिसन, or we take you have a Chinese room in Taj. Now that is again a restaurant, but it is inside a hotel, inside a premises that are having the room rent exceeding 7,500 rupees. वो वाले रेस्टोरेंट से अगर आप खाना मंगवाते हैं जिनका डिक्लेयर्ड टैरिफ 7,500 से ज्यादा है, उसे छोड़ दीजिए, उन रेस्टोरेंट्स को छोड़ दीजिए जो ताज के अंदर है या जो किसी और ऐसे स्पेसिफाइड आउटलेट्स के अंदर है, स्पेसिफाइड प्रीमाइसेस के अंदर है, जहां रूम्स का टैरिफ 7,500 से ज्यादा है. अदर देन आप किसी भी रेस्टोरेंट से खाना मंगवाएंगे थ्रू द ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर, it will be liable for GST. ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर, अब देखो यहां पे भी वही है. वैसे छोटा रेस्टोरेंट अगर खाना देता, ओके, एक बात और बताइए, अगर आप जाकर वहां खाना खाते हैं छोटे रेस्टोरेंट में जो 20 लाख से नीचे है, GST लगता? GST लगता? यस और नो? यस और नो? नहीं लगता. एब्सोल्युटली विमल जी, कमलेश जी, मेहुल जी, नहीं लगता. जिंकल जी, नहीं लगता. लेकिन अगर आप होम डिलीवरी कराएंगे थ्रू इलेक्ट्रॉनिक प्लेटफॉर्म, तो छोटे रेस्टोरेंट्स पे भी ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर तुम्हें देना पड़ेगा टैक्स. फ्रेंड्स, GST कॉम्प्लिकेटेड एक तो इसलिए था बिकॉज ये टेम्परेरी पैचवर्क्स पे बेस्ड है. What we say in Punjabi च कहते ना, टाकियां लगा लगा के, a cloth which is torn and being sewn from every part, you sew it from one side, it gets torn from the another side. वो बिल्डिंग्स में टेम्परेरी पैचवर्क कर रहे थे हम. GSTR 2 नहीं आई, GSTR 2A आई, फिर 2B आई, 2B जंग जीत गई है, राइट? सो एक तो इसलिए था. सेकेंडली 3B नहीं आई, 3 नहीं आई, 3B एक प्रॉक्सी आई. अदर देन दैट, गवर्नमेंट खुद ही रूल बनाती है और खुद ही उसको कॉम्प्लिकेट करती है. द ओनली इशू इज, विद ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट, बट द ओनली इशू इज जनरेशन ऑफ रेवेन्यू. Honorable Finance Minister also said in her budget speech too that the revenue of GST is increasing. It is 1,40,000 crore of rupees for the last month. But have you analyzed the reason of that increase? the hardships that the industry is facing due to the ITC provisions? No. Why I'm mentioning this point here? Because this is what I am going to discuss with you in the restaurant services also. पहले गवर्नमेंट कहती है अच्छा वर्क्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, मैं तो सिर्फ सप्लाई ऑफ सर्विस ही मानूंगी, ऐसी कहती है ना, और फिर खुद ही रूल देती है, ह्यू एंड क्राई इन द इंडस्ट्री, solar power panels 70-30, car repairs, the ratios being given through the circulars. We are changing the law as per the needs. We are time and again changing. I always say your act is this much now, and your rules, and whenever you advise a client, you have to entirely go through this notification, amending the notification of 2017. Let's open 2017, go through every notification, and then you go for it. This is the hardship, and the next two slides are going to deal with the same. Let me ask you people a question. Ice cream parlors are restaurants. Ice cream parlors are restaurants. Will they be covered under 9 subsection 5? Yes or no? Then I will discuss. You all are saying no. क्यों? गवर्नमेंट ने सर्कुलर इशू किया इसलिए. Circular number 164. Premal ji saying yes. So government has issued the circular particularly saying, look, ice cream parlors are not restaurant because they don't cook. Now, my question to all of you is, what about those ice cream parlors which instantly make the ice cream in front of your eyes? Nitrogen ice cream you want? You want waffle? Let us cook it for you. They make the waffle there in front of you. They cook it for you and then they supply it for you. A big question mark. Those all who said no. Government says because ice cream parlors are not involved in any sort of cooking, they are just procuring and selling. That is why it's goods. You know what's the revenue rate? 18% as against 5% in restaurant services. They are not restaurants as per Circular 164. Cloud kitchens, they tried to cover. Nowadays, we have the concept of cloud kitchens, central kitchens. They covered. They said all are because they are involved in cooking. They are providing some sort of services. They are not goods. And this is what our Schedule 2 also says. Supply of the food through the restaurants, eating joints are all the services. So restaurant services has been defined. This is Circular 164 by notification 11/2017, which says any service of goods being food, underlying item is food, any other article for human consumption other than the alcoholic liquor for human consumption, whether you are consuming it there or you are taking away. So many people ask the questions, I have a takeaway. That is also a restaurant. That is also covered under a restaurant services, provided you're not selling the ready-made packets, chips and all. No. But if you are involved in the cooking and then supplying, whether there or away from the premises, where such food or article is a service, is a restaurant services. So they highlighted there are two elements, cooking and supplying of foods. Whether served there or you are taking away, both are restaurant services. Whether it is door delivery or you are eating therein, both are restaurant services. And as takeaway is covered by restaurant services, the cloud kitchens and the central kitchens, all are restaurant services. And as these are being provided through e-commerce operator, these will get covered by 9 subsection 5. Friends, again a question mark. The small restaurant. Now you see, when you choose from the restaurant, आपने पनीर टिक्का मंगवाना है. So पनीर टिक्का इस होटल का, इस रेस्टोरेंट का इतने का, इस रेस्टोरेंट का इतने का. When there is a price difference, the small restaurants would have got a chance. कि okay, GST नहीं लगता या otherwise नहीं लगता. Now उनके rates reduced होते थे. अब रेस्टोरेंट चाहे रजिस्टर्ड है चाहे अनरजिस्टर्ड है, अगर वो स्विगी और जोमेटो पर रजिस्टर्ड है, जो सप्लाई वो स्विगी और जोमेटो से करेगा, that will be taxable supply. And who will be the deemed supplier? It is the e-commerce operator that will be the deemed supplier. E-commerce operator, restaurant services में तो वैसे ही ITC denied है, 5% rate. Although I always highlight the legitimacy of these rate notifications where ITC is denied, may it be the restaurant sector, may it be your restaurant sector, or may it be your real estate sector. What was the basic purpose of GST? Seamless flow of credit. And through rate notifications, you are forcing no ITC, 5% tax on restaurant services. E-commerce operator, you are not allowed. It is not RCM, my dear friends. You all said, and that is why I highlighted the point. This is not RCM. But because restaurant services, 5% rate is given, reason being no ITC underlying, e-commerce operator, no ITC. E-commerce operator को यहाँ दिक्कत नहीं थी. E-commerce operator को दिक्कत तो यहाँ थी कि भाई साहब जो कॉमन आईटीसी आते थे उसका भी प्रोपोर्शनेट रिवर्सल करना पड़ेगा रूल 42 and 43 में. It is a deemed supplier concept. It is not RCM concept. So e-commerce operator, now because your certain services are of restaurant services which are not liable for RCM, rule 42, 43 will come into picture. Proportionate reversal concept will get applicable. Other than that, restaurant used to charge delivery charges, packing charges. Now a question mark arises, will it be a composite supply or 18% rate on the charges and 5% rate for the food? So this is not a small issue. Now the restaurants, yes, they are covered. E-commerce operator, it is your turnover now. You people are the deemed suppliers. As a result, you have to consider it for the purpose of reversal under rule 42, 43. None other than that. Let's now come to the ice cream parlors too. I already told you, even the restaurant is unregistered. Okay, let me ask you one question. Composite supplier, can he supply the services through e-commerce operator? Yes or no? Can a composite supplier of goods or services supply goods through e-commerce operator? Yes or no? So much time. कुछ भी लिख दो. और विमल जी कहते हैं नो, तीर्थराज जी कहते हैं नो. प्रीवियसली माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, जिन्होंने यस लिखा है और जिन्होंने नो लिखा है, प्रीवियसली कॉम्पोजिशन में सिर्फ गुड्स वर्ड लिस्टेड था, बट गवर्नमेंट नोटिस्ड इट एंड विद इफेक्ट फ्रॉम 1/1/2021 उन्होंने सर्विसेज भी इंक्लूड कर दिया था. तो पहले जितने रेस्टोरेंट्स थे वो कॉम्पोजिशन में थे. 2021 से पहले वो ई कॉमर्स के साथ डील कर सकते थे, बट आफ्टर 1/1/2021 वहां वर्ड सर्विसेज भी ऐड हो गया था. तो कॉम्पोजिशन वाले गुड्स और सर्विसेज वाले कभी भी ई कॉमर्स के थ्रू डील कर ही नहीं सकते. दे आर नॉट अलाउड. सो रेस्टोरेंट सर्विसेज वाले कई बार पूछते हैं हमें फर्क क्या पड़ता है, वेदर वी गो फॉर कॉम्पोजिशन और वेदर वी गो फॉर नॉर्मल. 1.5 करोड़ तक अगर हम है तो कॉम्पोजिशन में ही रहते हैं ना, देयर इज नो हार्म. आईटीसी तो दोनों में ही नहीं मिलना. अगर आप ई कॉमर्स के थ्रू डील करना चाहते हैं, यू कैन नॉट कम इनटू द ई कॉम्पोजिशन. राइट, चलिए लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड. आइसक्रीम पार्लर्स. फ्रेंड्स, आइसक्रीम पार्लर्स का इशू वही था, गवर्नमेंट ने एक्सप्लेन किया. They are selling the already manufactured ice creams. Hence, there is no cooking involved. Hence, they are not restaurants. Pay the tax at the rate of 18% as the manufacturer. But the ice cream parlors sold by the ice cream sold by a parlor or other similar would attract a rate of 18%, but they have not considered the nitrogen ice cream parlor, the waffles and the other things which they cook over there and then supply you. What is the position of that is a big question mark. Here the intricacies arise. Here what the role of professional comes, and we need to go for the litigation. So my dear friends, if I come to the e-commerce operators, so this is a slide which will explain you the entire concept of e-commerce operator along with the person who is supplying through e-commerce. The small vendors, the restaurants, the other ones who are supplying through e-commerce operator, have a look. Friends, okay, let me ask you this question. A person is supplying goods or services through on portal. अब प्रशांत जी हैं, किंजल जी हैं, विमल जी हैं, इन्होंने अपने साइट्स बनाई हुई हैं. They have made their own sites. CA की अपनी वेबसाइट है. CA supplying services through the website. Whether it is e-commerce operator, yes or no? Yes or no? अरविंद जी कहते हैं नो, कमलेश जी नो, विशाल जी कहते हैं यस, मेहुल जी यस. अच्छा मेहुल जी यस और नो बोथ लिख दिया. केतन जी सेइंग नो. नो. If you are having, अभी मैंने बताया था inventory model, normal. If you are supplying your own goods or services through e-commerce operator, no, it is not e-commerce, no TCS provision, nothing else, no question of TCS. Registration में आपको threshold limits भी मिलेंगे. अपनी साइट पे अपने प्रोडक्ट्स को लिस्ट करना is not actually liable for TCS. Thresholds are also applicable. Okay. अब Sandeep ji wanted to purchase some good laptop. Put on Google top best laptop companies, and the site gave the information. Is it a e-commerce portal? Yes or no? Tell me, Sandeep ji, e-commerce portal? Yes or no? No, absolutely correct. There are certain sites which only provide you the information and does not entitle you to purchase of goods or services. They are not e-commerce operator, no question of TCS. मैंने बोला था supply of goods or services through e-commerce, electronic platform. It is not e-commerce. Now let's talk about which are e-commerce. A person. Now let me talk about, for example, Prakash ji के पास एक client आता है, बोलते हैं sir, two brothers आते हैं, and I want all of you to answer. Brother 1, brother 2. So we will name them as 1 and 2. दोनों नया काम शुरू करना चाहते हैं. Both are the youngsters and they want to start their startup India. They want to start their own business. And प्रकाश जी के पास आते हैं, एक बोलते सर मैं herbal oil supply करना चाहता हूँ. And the other says I am into therapies. I want to list my services for therapies. प्रकाश जी, किसको आप बोलेंगे कंपल्सरी रजिस्ट्रेशन और किसको बोलेंगे नॉट कंपल्सरी रजिस्ट्रेशन? और ऑल अदर कैन आंसर. आई एम नॉट पर्टिकुलरली आस्किंग प्रकाश जी, आई हैव जस्ट टेकन एन एग्जांपल कि नाउ फ्रेंड्स गुड्स के लिए कंपल्सरी है. अक्ता जी सेइंग एनी अदर? यस. नाउ लेट्स मूव अहेड विद दिस एग्जांपल. फ्रेंड्स आपको सबसे पहले प्रकाश जी चेक करेंगे कि गुड्स का सप्लायर है या सर्विसेज का सप्लायर है. द फर्स्ट स्टेप इज टू डिटरमाइन वेदर यू आर गोइंग टू सप्लाई द गुड्स और द सर्विसेज थ्रू ई-कॉमर्स. वन थिंग. सेकेंडली, इफ इट इज सर्विसेज, फिर प्रकाश जी सेकेंड चीज चेक करेंगे कि भाई ये वो 4 सर्विसेज में से कोई एक सर्विस तो नहीं है. अभी करी 4 सर्विसेज. अभी कौन सी? ओला उबेर, द motor vehicles wali, the hotel, the plumber, the housekeeping services and the restaurant services. अगर तो वो 4 है कि other than, अब ये तो कहते हैं ये तो other than है because he is going to provide the therapy booking. Therapies book होंगी उस पोर्टल के थ्रू. सो वो क्लाइंट इनका किसमें कवर हो गया? अदर सर्विसेज में. अगर वो क्लाइंट ये 4 सर्विसेज में होता, ये कहते भाई तुम निश्चिंत हो जाओ, डीम्ड सप्लायर कॉन्सेप्ट लगना है, तुम्हें रजिस्ट्रेशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. लेकिन इस केस में तो ना टीसीएस लगना है ना रजिस्ट्रेशन होने की जरूरत थी. लेकिन इनके पास जो पर्सन आया वो किसमें कवर्ड था? दिस पर्सन वाज कवर्ड अंडर अदर सर्विसेज. वो थेरेपीज दे रहा था. जब वो अदर सर्विसेज में कवर्ड था, सर अभी अक्ता जी ने बोला था गुड्स के लिए कंपल्सरी है. माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, अगर आप सेक्शन 24 देखोगे तो वो गुड्स के लिए भी कंपल्सरी था. पर्सन, if you are supplying any goods or services or both through e-commerce operator, you are supposed to take the mandatory registration right from rupee 1. But सर्विसेज वालों को वाइड नोटिफिकेशन 65/2017 गवर्नमेंट ने बेनिफिट दिया कि ठीक है हम तुम्हें 20 लाख तक की एग्जेम्पशन थ्रेशोल्ड इंजॉय करने देंगे, तुम्हें कंपल्सरी रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं कराना होगा। अब जब प्रकाश जी के पास ये सेकंड ब्रदर आया जो थेरेपीज दे रहा था, प्रकाश जी ने कहा तुम 20 लाख तक रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं भी कराओगे, नोटिफिकेशन 65/2017 तुम्हें बेनिफिट देगी और तुम उसके बिना ही काम चला सकते हो, तुम्हारे ऊपर टीसीएस भी नहीं लगेगा। बट भाई जैसे ही तुम 20 लाख क्रॉस कर जाओगे ना तो रजिस्ट्रेशन करा लेना। अरे 20 लाख क्रॉस करने पे तो मुझे वैसे ही रजिस्ट्रेशन कराना था, टीसीएस भी अप्लाई हो जाएगा। याद रखिएगा, टीडीएस हो या टीसीएस हो, उसी पर्सन पे लगता है जो रजिस्टर्ड होगा। तीर्थराज जी, interstate, intrastate is not a question. Supply through e-commerce operator is a question here. अब यहाँ पे आप जो क्लॉज मिक्स करने की कोशिश करें, इफ आई एम सप्लाइंग, सुनिए फ्रेंड्स, तीर्थराज जी ने क्वेश्चन रेज किया इंटरस्टेट, अभी वैसे मैं बात कर रही थी सप्लाई ऑफ सर्विसेज थ्रू ई कॉमर्स। अब उसमें इंटरस्टेट भी अगर जाता है तो तीर्थराज जी, लेट मी टेल यू, देयर इज अ नोटिफिकेशन नंबर 10/2017 which says even the interstate supply of taxable services is exempt up to 20 lakhs. वो भी एग्जेम्प्ट है 20 लाख तक, 10/2017 में। एनी हाउ वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट सप्लाई ऑफ सर्विसेज थ्रू ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर, और हम सीएस भी उसमें फॉल करते हैं तीर्थराज जी। सो अगर आप कोई इंटरस्टेट ऑडिट करते हैं, आपको फिर भी 20 लाख का थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट मिलता है, वाइड नोटिफिकेशन 10/2017, राइट। चलिए, ये नोटिफिकेशन जीएसटी इंप्लीमेंट होने से 2 महीने बाद आया था। सो बहुत सारे सीएस ऐसे थे जिन्होंने रजिस्ट्रेशन ले ली थी एंड लेटर ऑन दे सरेंडर्ड देयर रजिस्ट्रेशंस, अगर वो 20 लाख क्रॉस नहीं करते थे, क्योंकि इंटरस्टेट टैक्सेबल सप्लाई को 10/2017 में एग्जेम्प्ट कर दिया था। Anyhow, let's come back. Other services. अब प्रकाश जी बोलते हैं तुम अदर सर्विसेज में कवर्ड हो, तो तुम तो रजिस्ट्रेशन तभी लेना जब थ्रेशोल्ड क्रॉस करोगे। थ्रेशोल्ड क्रॉस करोगे तो ही टीसीएस लगेगा, तब तक टीसीएस भी नहीं लगेगा जब तक तुम रजिस्टर नहीं होते। बट ब्रदर नंबर 1, you are going to supply the goods. You have to take the mandatory registration as per section 24, क्योंकि तुम्हारे लिए कोई भी नोटिफिकेशन नहीं आया है। 1 रुपए से तुम्हें रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना होगा एज पर सेक्शन 24, मैंडेटरी रजिस्ट्रेशन। सो दिस इज द एंटायर स्टोरी कि जब आपके पास कोई पर्सन आता है कि वो ई कॉमर्स के थ्रू सप्लाई करना चाहता है, सो एंटायर प्रोविजंस विल अप्लाई। नाउ लेट्स टेक द रजिस्ट्रेशन प्रोविजंस ऑफ ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर। आपको यहाँ 4 पॉइंट्स हाईलाइटेड दिख रहे होंगे, 3 तो पक्का ही दिख रहे होंगे। पॉइंट नंबर 4, पॉइंट नंबर 9 एंड पॉइंट नंबर 10, ये तीनों ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर से डील करते हैं। भूल जाइए 22 सबसेक्शन 1, भूल जाओ थ्रेशोल्ड। मैंडेटरी रजिस्ट्रेशन है किसके लिए? पर्सन हु आर रिक्वायर्ड टू पे टैक्स अंडर सबसेक्शन 9(5). अच्छा, 9(5) में सप्लायर पे करता है कि ई कॉमर्स? हु पेज अंडर 9 सबसेक्शन 5, सप्लायर और ई कॉमर्स? Person who are required to pay tax under 9(5). Point number 4. Point number 4. Who will be? Absolutely e-commerce. सब जाग रहे हैं और कुछ तो सुन ही रहे हैं, है ना? Absolutely. So the one point which is in front of you, who are required to pay tax under 9(5). E-commerce, अगर तुम एक 9(5) के e-commerce operator हो तो तुम्हें मैंडेटरी रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाना है, तुम्हें मैंडेटरी रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाना है। सेकंड केस, सेकंड केस, पॉइंट नंबर 2, अगर तुम एवरी ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर हु इज रिक्वायर्ड टू कलेक्ट टीसीएस, हर ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर, अब ये अदर देन 9(5) वाले आ गए, अदर देन 9(5) वाले, क्योंकि वही who are required to collect TCS means other than 9(5). So every e-commerce operator जिसको TCS काटना है, भाई तुम्हारे लिए भी मैंडेटरी रजिस्ट्रेशन है irrespective of the limits. Third, now it is the person जो भी हमने बात की थी, जो 2 ब्रदर्स आए थे। अब देखिए सेक्शन में वर्ड तो गुड्स और सर्विसेज दोनों है। सो जो भी पर्सन गुड्स और सर्विसेज ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर के थ्रू देगा अदर देन 95 वाला, 95 वाले में तो वही डीम सप्लायर है ई कॉमर्स, सो अदर देन 95 वाला तुम्हें भी जरूरी था, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट ने एग्जेम्पशन दे दी हुई है 65/2017 से। सो जो हमारा पॉइंट नंबर 4 था, मैंने बताया उसमें 4 सर्विसेज है और रेस्टोरेंट सर्विस अभी लिस्ट हुई है। अब लेट्स सी, वही एग्जांपल्स दिए मैंने। अगर कोई रूम एमएमटी से बुक होता है, एमएमटी शेल बी लायबल टू पे, लेकिन अगर एक गेस्ट हाउस होम स्टे एमएमटी के थ्रू बुक हुआ जिसकी अपनी टर्नओवर 23 lakhs थी, इन दैट केस एमएमटी विल नॉट बी लायबल, मिस्टर एक्स विल बी लायबल। लेकिन अगर थ्रेशोल्ड 20 लाख से नीचे थी तो एमएमटी विल गेट लायबल। 9 सबसेक्शन 5 वाले में कभी भी टीसीएस नहीं लगता। अरे कौन अपना टीसीएस खुद काटेगा? पर्सन, अगर तुम सप्लाई करते हो, सिर्फ सर्विसेज के लिए नोटिफिकेशन आया है, दैट नोटिफिकेशन इज 65/2017 जो कहता है तुम्हें जरूरत नहीं है, राइट। अब यहाँ पे स्विगी नहीं आएगा क्योंकि अब ये 95 वाला बन चुका है। अब यहाँ पे थेरेपी सर्विस ले लीजिए, थेरेपी सर्विस के केस में बेनिफिट ऑफ नोटिफिकेशन 65/2017 अवेलेबल हो जाएगा। एवरी ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर हु इज रिक्वायर्ड टू कलेक्ट टीसीएस, तुम्हारे लिए भी मैंडेटरी रजिस्ट्रेशन है। चलिए अब जरा रजिस्ट्रेशन करानी कहां कहां है। आप में से कई लोगों ने आंसर दिया था हर स्टेट में करानी है। क्यों करानी है? लेट्स हैव द रीजन। अब देखिए, पहला सप्लायर हरियाणा में बैठा है, राइट। गुड सप्लाई करने हैं राजस्थान में, यानी राजस्थान के एक पर्सन ने ऑर्डर दिया हरियाणा के सप्लायर को कि भाई मुझे गुड्स चाहिए। ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर भी हरियाणा में ही है, लोकेशन ऑफ सप्लायर एंड ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर सेम है। अब मुझे बताइए इनवॉइस कौन इश्यू करेगा? हु विल इश्यू द इनवॉइस? रिद्धि जी, हु विल इश्यू द इनवॉइस? हरियाणा सप्लायर विल इश्यू द इनवॉइस। उसको गुड्स कहां सप्लाई करने हैं? राजस्थान में करने हैं। भाई तुम तो आईजीएसटी लगाओगे, हाँ। ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर तुम्हें 1% टीसीएस कलेक्ट करना है। हरियाणा वाला ई कॉमर्स कहते हैं कोई बात नहीं, मैं 1% ऑफ आईजीएसटी कलेक्ट कर लूंगा, मेरे पोर्टल में भी आएगा और मैं जमा करा दूंगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। सेकंड केस में चलते। हरियाणा वाले सप्लायर ने, हरियाणा में ही ऑर्डर आया, गुड्स हरियाणा में सप्लाई करने हैं। सप्लायर, तुम जब बिल दोगे तो तुम सी और एस चार्ज करोगे। जब तुम सी और एस चार्ज करोगे, हरियाणा, तीनों हरियाणा में है, तीनों ही हरियाणा में है, ई कॉमर्स भी हरियाणा में है, गुड सप्लाइड भी हरियाणा में है, सब कुछ। हरियाणा वाला ई कॉमर्स कहते कोई बात नहीं, 1% टीसीएस कलेक्ट करना है, हरियाणा सी और एस में 1% काटूंगा, डिपॉजिट करा दूंगा। लेट्स हैव अ लुक ऑन द थर्ड केस नाउ। हरियाणा का सप्लायर गुड सप्लाई कर रहा है हरियाणा में, बिल पे क्या लगाएगा? सी और एस। और ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर अमेज़न कहां बैठा है? दिल्ली में। काटो 1% अमेज़न, कैसे काटोगे? हरियाणा वाला, दिल्ली वाला अमेज़न बोलता है अरे भाई कैसे काट के जमा कराऊं? कहने को तो 1 नेशन 1 टैक्स है, लेकिन हरियाणा के सी और एस का कलर दिल्ली के सी और एस से डिफरेंट है। मुझे बताइए अब क्या करे ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर? लेनी पड़ेगी हरियाणा में ही रजिस्ट्रेशन। आई होप यू आर गेटिंग, बिकॉज हरियाणा, दिल्ली के सी और एस में हरियाणा का सी और एस का 1% डिपॉजिट नहीं हो सकता। इट इज नॉट 1 नेशन 1 टैक्स एट ऑल माय डियर फ्रेंड्स। आप मुझे मुंबई बुलाते हैं, यू मेक मी स्टे इन अ होटल or I stay in a hotel, I pay over there, I cannot take the credit because the color of Maharashtra C&S is different from the color of Punjab C&S, right? So they, as a result, ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर तुम्हें हरियाणा में रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना। और सर जब ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर रजिस्टर होता है वो ये तो नहीं कहेगा ना मैं हरियाणा के गुड्स हरियाणा में सप्लाई नहीं करूंगा। सो सिंपल, जिस स्टेट में ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर ऑपरेट करता है उस हर स्टेट में उसको रजिस्ट्रेशन लेनी पड़ेगी। और अगर अमेजॉन तुम पूरे इंडिया में ऑपरेट करते हो, सो यू हैव टू टेक रजिस्ट्रेशन इन ऑल द 30 स्टेट्स। 30 है ना, so you have to take the registration in all the 30 states. So e-commerce operator has to take registration state wise. अब एक क्वेश्चन आप लोगों से पूछूं प्रैक्टिकली रिद्धि जी के पास एक ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर रजिस्टर होने आया। अब रिद्धि जी ने कहा हमने तो ये लॉ पढ़ रखा है कि ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर तुमको, उन्होंने पूछा कहाँ कहाँ ऑपरेट करोगे, द ऑपरेटर सेड पैन इंडिया। सो रिद्धि जी सेड you have to take the registration in each and every state because you are going to take the registration. E-commerce operator said, madam, I to have the office at a particular place, only at New Delhi. What will I do at the other places? I cannot open the offices at all the other places. You will ask me, bring the copy of registry, bring the copy of rented premises. I don't have. So have a look on this practical provision. और एक और इशू, चलिए पहले इतना डील करते हैं, फिर नेक्स्ट पे चलते हैं. All persons who is required to deduct or collect the TCS will submit an application. फ्रेंड्स, ये कौन सा रजिस्ट्रेशन है? ई-कॉमर्स वाला रजिस्ट्रेशन है. REG 07 में एप्लीकेशन जाएगा. रजिस्ट्रेशन फॉर TCS would be required in each and every state from wherever you are going to make the supply. But कैसे? No physical presence in every state. How will I do that? जहां तो फिजिकल प्रेजेंस है, नो प्रॉब्लम. जहां फिजिकल प्रेजेंस नहीं है, they have given you the option. You can give the address of the head office and you can have a representative there in that taxable territory. Right? अब रिद्धि जी यहां पे भी क्वेश्चन सॉर्ट आउट नहीं हुआ. रिद्धि जी ने एप्लीकेशन लगा दी REG 07 में. अब देखिए, ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर का एड्रेस, फिजिकल प्रेजेंस, हेड ऑफिस दिल्ली में है, रजिस्ट्रेशन हरियाणा में करा रहा है. कौन सा ऑफिसर डील करेगा? विच ऑफिसर विल डील? आई वांट टू आस्क यू. अरे एरिया वाइज जुरिस्डिक्शन होता है ना, एरिया वाइज ना. विच विल डील? टेल मी. Nobody is answering. फ्रेंड्स, अगर इस केस में हर स्टेट में एक सेपरेट ऑफिसर रखा जाता है, अक्ता जी करेगा तो हरियाणा वाला. हरियाणा में भी तो 4 ऑफिसर्स बैठे हैं. CGST हरियाणा, SGST हरियाणा, CGST में भी बहुत सारे ऑफिसर्स हैं. वो बोलते हैं नवी मुंबई एरिया, इस ऑफिसर के पास जाओ. देन यू हैव मेरीन ड्राइव एरिया, इस ऑफिसर के पास जाओ. You have other areas, you can go to the another officer. My question to you is, आप एड्रेस दे रही है दिल्ली का, और जो पर्सन कंसर्न है, किस ऑफिसर के पास एप्लीकेशन जाएगी? हर स्टेट में, मुंबई में भी हर स्टेट में एक सेपरेट ऑफिसर होगा, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव जुरिस्डिक्शन, जो सिर्फ और सिर्फ GST रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ REG 07 फॉर्म डील फॉर करेगा. एक सेपरेट ऑफिसर अलॉट किया जाता है, वन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव जुरिस्डिक्शन. क्यों? एड्रेस तो दिल्ली हेड ऑफिस का डला हुआ है, रजिस्ट्रेशन हरियाणा में, या रजिस्ट्रेशन आप करवा रहे हैं मुंबई में. एवरी स्टेट जहां उसका फिजिकल प्रेजेंस नहीं है, एड्रेस कहां का दे रहे हो? हेड ऑफिस का. उन्होंने फॉर्म में भी ऐसे रखा है. व्हेन यू फिल दिस फॉर्म, दे आस्क यू, इफ यू डज नॉट हैव अ फिजिकल प्रेजेंस इन अ पर्टिकुलर स्टेट, फिल पार्ट A of the application and mention the address of the principal place of business, प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस जहां आपका फिजिकल प्रेजेंस है, और ऑफिसर भी सेपरेट एलोकेटेड है जो TCS रजिस्ट्रेशन को देखेगा. और ये तो आप सब मुझे पहले ही बता चुके हो विशाल जी. हर अमेजॉन तुम्हें 2 रजिस्ट्रेशन लेनी होंगी, अपने प्रोडक्ट बेचने के लिए, अपनी कमीशन की इनकम के लिए. नॉर्मल GST रिटर्न, GSTR 3 you have to 3B you have to file, and एक रजिस्ट्रेशन एज एन ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर लेनी होगी REG 07 फॉर्म में. सो ई-कॉमर्स तुम अपनी कमीशन पे नॉर्मल 18% टैक्स भरोगे, और ई-कॉमर्स तुम GSTR 8 भरोगे. GSTR 8 भरोगे जो तुम TCS कलेक्ट करोगे. So TCS का रिटर्न is GSTR 8, right? Okay, what is the rate of TCS, my dear friends? सबने बड़े अच्छे से आंसर दिया था. कैश लेजर में आता है रेट क्या है? What is the rate? 2% or 1%? Absolutely correct. को लो आप जितना मर्जी कंफ्यूज कर लो, हमको पता है 0.5% है into 2 1%. TDS का रेट 2% है. TCS का रेट 0.5 into 2 is 1% rate of TCS. इतना लंबा चौड़ा सेक्शन 52 नहीं पढ़ाऊंगी. Let's see it with few examples. चलिए, let me ask you a few questions. Okay, क्या unregistered person का TCS कटता है? Yes or no? Unregistered person का TCS कटता है? Yes or no? No, absolutely correct. Okay, friends, यहाँ पे स्विगी और जोमेटो नहीं आएगा. Please take it as a any other operator, because now Swiggy Zomato is covered by 9 subsection 5. These are the important conditions, and this slide will absolutely, Vimalji, correct. So this slide will give you an insight. What are the conditions which are there for e-commerce? You just excuse me for a while. Give me a So sorry, friends, there was some urgent call which I was supposed to take. Let's move forward. In this slide, you will get some important conditions for the e-commerce operator under GST. There should be sale of goods, and it should be through electronic platform. Second, there must be an e-commerce operator, tabhi TCS lagega. Yes, important. Friends, TCS tabhi lagta hai if e-commerce operator is responsible for collecting the payment. If payment is made directly to the receiver, like in OLX, no TCS will get applicable. The payment must be collected by the e-commerce operator. Goods and services भी taxable होने चाहिए. सर्विसेज 9.5 की नहीं होनी चाहिए. 9.5 में होंगी तो नहीं लगेगा. सप्लाईज मस्ट बी टैक्सेबल. इसका मतलब अगर आप फ्रूट्स और वेजिटेबल्स बाय करते हो, ऑर्गेनिक फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स, will it be liable to TCS through e-commerce operator? Yes or no? Yes or no? No, because the goods are exempt. Yes, absolutely. जाग रहे हैं सभी. Composition dealer, already told you, cannot make supply through e-commerce operator now, right? TCS is not applicable. Okay, let me ask you, RCM transactions पे TCS लगता है? Yes or no? RCM transaction, legal services are supplied through the electronic platform. Will TCS apply? The answer is no. RCM पे TCS नहीं लगता. Let's have okay. One question. Great, Namrata ji, Vimal ji. I could see all your answers. Let me ask you one more question now. Friends, what happened? An e-commerce operator made a supply of 1 lakh rupees in a month, 4 lakh rupees in a month, and next month lockdown lag gaya. There was no supply. There was hardly any supply. You know, remember April 2020, sub lockdown, everybody was sitting at home. So there was no supplies, essential commodities were on, and the e-commerce operator got the returns in that month. पिछले वाले में से return आ गई. Let's suppose 80,000 rupees were returned. Now I ask you one thing. In this month, the e-commerce have got a negative balance. Negative balance. Will TCS be applicable? Yes or no? And secondly, will the e-commerce be allowed to carry over the negative balance to next month? Yes or no? Will be allowed to carry over the negative balance to next month for adjustment? Yes or no? So you all are so right in saying no. Have a look on this. Friends, pehli baat. There is a provision that you have to pay the taxes on the net off basis. There are lots of return on the electronic platforms. So this facility has been provided value of taxable. आपने ये नहीं देखना है किस month की supply वापस आ रही है. No, not at all. आपने देखना है total इस month में supply इतनी हुई, इस month में return इतनी हुई. Net it off. Now, after that, if it is a negative value, ignore. It will by no means be carry forward to the next month. So let's have a look on the example that has been given below. अच्छा, एक और question पूछूं. Will this negative be checked totally for e-commerce operator? Total. उसने month में इतनी supply की और इतना उसका negative आया. Or it is required to be supplier wise. Or it is required. Or will it be taken as supplier wise? Okay, Akta ji saying supplier wise. Mehul ji also saying supplier wise. Absolutely correct, friends. It has to be supplier wise. Q, I will give you an example in the next slide. Have a look. Have a look on the slide which is given below. Friends, now in this case, there is aggregate value of intrastate supplies. ABC Limited is an e-commerce operator. इसको TCS लगाना है. Aggregate value of intrastate supply जो इसके थ्रू हुई है, that is 37,55,000. उसमें से 95 की सप्लाई पहले माइनस कर दीजिए, उसके ऊपर तो TCS लगना ही नहीं. इंट्रास्टेट टैक्सेबल सप्लाई की रिटर्न्स आ गई, रिटर्न्स माइनस कर दीजिए. नेट वैल्यू जो बच गई दैट इज 25,85,000. इसके ऊपर टीसीएस लगेगा. नाउ द क्वेश्चन कम्स, जो आपको 10th ऑफ नेक्स्ट मंथ डिपॉजिट कराना है. हैव अ लुक. एबीसी, तुम ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर थे, तुम्हारे पास दो सप्लायर्स लिस्टेड थे, सप्लायर ए बी और सप्लायर बी बी. ए सप्लायर की सप्लाई 1 लाख हुई, रिटर्न 120, नेगेटिव आ गया. इसका नेगेटिव सप्लायर बी से एडजस्ट नहीं होगा. फ्रेंड्स, टीसीएस आपको डिपॉजिट सप्लायर वाइज कराना होता है. तो अगर आप एक का दूसरे में मिक्स कर दोगे तो क्रेडिट कैसे दोगे? इसका नेगेटिव इग्नोर हो जाएगा और इसका 45,000 के ऊपर टीसीएस ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर तुम्हें कलेक्ट करना होगा. I hope I could make the point clear that how it goes supplier wise. Supplier A negative to be ignored, supplier B ka apna 45,000 and 1% TCS to be deposited. Okay, now let me ask you one question. E-invoicing ka threshold limit kitna hai? What is the threshold limit for e-invoicing? 50 crores. Yes, right, Vicky ji, absolutely correct. Now, Vimal ji, I ask you one question to one and all. Who will be, किसका threshold देखोगे e-invoicing के लिए? E-commerce operator का और supplier का. Whose turnover is need to be checked for e-invoicing? E-commerce or the supplier? Akta ji, Tirath Raj ji, Manisha ji, Jayesh ji, Vimal ji, Kamlesh ji. Absolutely correct, supplier. Next question in the row. Who is responsible for e-invoicing? Is it the supplier or e-commerce operator who is responsible for e-invoicing? Need answer. Is it the supplier? Akta ji saying supplier. Tirath Raj ji saying also supplier. Manisha ji supplier. Suppliers. Okay. Akshita ji saying e-commerce. You all are correct, my dears. You all are correct. Option has been provided. Option has been provided. Let's have a look on the next slide. Yes. E-invoicing to check the turnover. It is 100% the turnover of the supplier that needs to be checked. But generation of IRN is or the e-way bills, option has been given. If the supplier is covered by IRN, supplier can do so. If the option has also been given that if the supplier doesn't do it, e-commerce operator, you can also do e-invoicing, IRN generation on the behalf of the supplier. But now assess, if e-commerce operator is doing it, then he has the access to all the IRNs. अगर supplier करेगा तो e-commerce operator, then तुम उसके IRN को access नहीं कर सकते. Very, very logical. So yes, IRN can be generated by the e-commerce operator as well as by the supplier. The option is being given. Right, moving ahead. GSTR rate फाइल करनी है 10 दिन के अंदर. नेक्स्ट मंथ में फ्रेंड्स, जब भी आप ऐसे पर्सन की रिटर्न फाइल कर रहे हैं जो ई कॉमर्स के थ्रू सप्लाई करता है, प्लीज आईज बंद करके टिक 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 करके कैश की एंट्रीज, कैश लेजर की एंट्रीज, टीसीएस की एंट्रीज एक्सेप्ट ना करें. पहले चेक करें कि जो टीसीएस आप एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं, जो आपके कैश लेजर में फॉल करेगा, क्या आपने उसके अगेंस्ट सप्लाई दिखाई भी है या नहीं दी है, दिखाई भी है या नहीं दिखाई है. सो इट इज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. देयर इज अ कंप्लीट मैचिंग of the supplies shown by the supplier through e-commerce operator and the return filed by the e-commerce operator. GSTR1 of the supplier and GSTR8 of the supplier are matched. And if there is any mismatch, this you all know, it comes in the cash ledger, that you all know, you told me in the beginning itself. If there is a mismatch, my dear friends, you will be served by a notice. That why the reason of mismatch. Moreover, DC or the officers above that ranking have been given the special powers requiring operator to furnish goods or services जो through उसके supply हुए, stock of goods held by the supplier in operator godown. अच्छा, एक बात बताइए, many people ask me, transport पे कई बार माल आता है, I'm using the business language a bit, the consignment comes of particular goods and लोग बोलते हैं अपना ट्रांसपोर्टर को अपने वहां ही रख लो 10 दिन 15 दिन. लॉकडाउन में तो 2 महीने सप्लायर का माल ट्रांसपोर्टर पे पड़ा रहा. इज इट परमिटेड? इज इट परमिटेड? यस और नो? इज इट परमिटेड? क्योंकि सेम पॉइंट अप्लाइज हियर आल्सो. नाउ डोंट लुक एट इन द आंसर. यस और नो, whether right or wrong, yes or no के स्पेलिंग सबको आते हैं. रिपीट द क्वेश्चंस. मेरे गुड्स आए मुंबई से, ट्रांसपोर्टर का कॉल आता है आपके गुड्स आए हैं, यू से सर कीप इट विद यू. ट्रांसपोर्टर्स आल्सो मेंटेन द गोडाउन्स. अक्ता जी, आपने अपने गुड्स वहीं रखवा दिए ट्रांसपोर्टर के पास, महीना पड़े रहे, आपको पता था मुझे ये गुड्स डिस्पैच करने हैं. इज इट अलाउड? इज इट अलाउड? Yes or no? Yes, it is allowed, provided, my dear friends, आप उसको एडिशनल प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस रोहित जी रजिस्टर कराएं. अगर आपने उसको एज एन एडिशनल प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस रजिस्टर नहीं कराया, then it is not allowed. So same concept applies here. If you want to keep your goods in the godown of the e-commerce operator, you must declare it as your additional place of business. Friends, बहुत सारे surveys हो रहे हैं, inspections हो रहे हैं, where the goods are of a particular supplier at some other place, and you have not registered it as an official place of business, additional place of your business. It is not accepted and you are liable for the penalty under section 122. चलिए, जब भी एडिशनल ऑफिसर जो ऑफिसर है कोई इंफॉर्मेशन मंगवाएगा, द पर्सन इज सपोज्ड टू सप्लाई इट विद इन अ पीरियड ऑफ 15 days, अदरवाइज 25,000 की पेनल्टी भी लग सकती है और 122 में पेनल्टी भी लग सकती है. मैचिंग कॉन्सेप्ट अभी मैंने बताया. अब देखिए, जब आप मैचिंग करते हो, गलती दोनों तरफ से हो सकती है. आपकी कोई सप्लाई नहीं थी, गलती से आपके जीएसटीएन में चल गई, उस केस में टीसीएस की रिटर्न ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर रेक्टिफाई करेगा और टीसीएस के अमाउंट के ऊपर इंटरेस्ट देगा, कम और ज्यादा जैसे भी होगा. लेकिन अगर आपने कोई आउटवर्ड सप्लाई छोड़ दी है और वो जीएसटीआर रेट में आ रही है, तो आप पूरे, वो तो टीसीएस के लिए इंटरेस्ट पे लायबल होगा अगर उसने छोड़ी है, आप पूरी अपनी आउटवर्ड सप्लाई के लिए लायबल होंगे फॉर द इंटरेस्ट. But there must be a complete matching of GSTR 8 with GSTR 1. Friends, अब आप लोग होटल के लिए साइट खोलते हैं MMT, आप आंसर करेंगे मुझे, राइट? MMT आपको त्रिवैगो पे ले जाता है, त्रिवैगो आगे, या आपने त्रिवैगो ओपन किया, त्रिवैगो से होटल बुक कराया, उसने आगे MMT को कहा, MMT ने आगे होटल से आपकी बुकिंग कराई. TCS कौन काटेगा? MMT और त्रिवैगो. When there are multiple e-commerce operator, who will be liable for the TCS provision? Give me an answer. Give me an answer. Let's have a look on the example. Let's have a look on the example. Friends, see, Mr. Corona Free, because he is the only person who can travel in the Corona areas during Corona. So Mr. Corona Free is a customer. He went to e-commerce operator 1. He went to MMT, e-commerce operator 2, and hotel was booked by e-commerce operator 2. Vimal ji, great. Kamlesh ji, great to see your answers. Who will be liable? Tell me quickly, is it Trivago or MMT? In the example given in front of you. Trivago. Okay. Anybody else? Friends, who will be payment receive? तो पहले त्रिवैगो करेगा, त्रिवैगो से MMT करेगा. My dear friends, TCS कटना किसका है? विमलेश जी, TCS कटना किसका है? Whose TCS is required to be collected? कस्टमर का कि होटल का? पेमेंट तो दोनों को ही आएगी, कस्टमर से त्रिवैगो को, त्रिवैगो से MMT को. Answer me. Trivago or MMT? Friends, it's MMT who is making payment to the hotel. So it is actually the e-commerce operator to MMT. TCS is to be collected by that e-commerce operator who is making payment to the supplier. अरे खुद सोचिए. Think of it. MMT ने होटल को पेमेंट करना है, रिमिट करना है, अपने वो होटल का TCS काटेगा और बैलेंस पेमेंट होटल को रिमिट कर देगा. So in case of multiple e-commerce operator, it is the e-commerce operator number 2 dealing with it who is required to go for it. Okay, next question. Let's have a rapid fire round together. Gold. Gold का रेट क्या है taxability का? What is the GST rate on gold? Quickly. What is the GST rate on gold? Sub 3%. Okay, so gold पे अगर मैं gold e-commerce operator के through sell करती हूँ और intimate जो jewelry है वो sell करती हूँ. Now tell me whether GST will be applicable. Yeah, Vimalji, I also want to say the same. Don't post your membership number here. My chat gets distracted with all the participants. You know, I cannot see all their good answers. Please don't put your GST, put your GST number. Right. So Vimalji has really requested everyone not to do so. And let us enjoy our talk too. Now my question, gold पे TCS लगता है? इतनी देर में तो Google कर लिया होगा. इतनी देर में तो Google कर लिया होगा. Yes. Yes. Gold is not an exception. Gold is not an exception. Second, even if you are a foreign e-commerce operator, still you are liable to get registration in India. मैंने proviso to section 9 subsection 5 सबसे पहले पढ़ाई थी. Wherever you don't have any physical presence, still you are supposed to take the representative allotted over there and take the registration. Yes, moreover, value of net taxable supply. अभी तो आपने बोला supplier wise GST and wise calculate करनी है और बाकी सारे point हमने आगे FAQs के cover कर लिए हुए हैं. Friends, let me come to the return aspect also. TCS की entries part C of 2A में appear होती हैं. 2B में अपीयर नहीं होती हैं, इसलिए 3B में मैनुअली जाती हैं। टीसीएस की एंट्रीज हमेशा कैश लेजर में आती हैं, क्रेडिट लेजर में नहीं आती हैं आफ्टर एक्सेप्टेंस। Person, if you are making supplies through e-commerce operator, don't let your returns go wrong. B2B supplies of 4C में रिपोर्ट होंगी, B2C large 5B में होंगी, और अगर B2C small है तो 7A2 में होंगी। चेकबॉक्स ऑफलाइन यूटिलिटी में अवेलेबल है। रिफंड यस, अगर आपके कैश लेजर में पैसा पड़ा है, टीसीएस एक्सेस है, you can easily take the refund of the same. Friends, अब एक बात मुझे आप बताइए, Amazon है, टीसीएस काट रहा था, विमल जी इसने इसके ऊपर अपनी सर्विसेज लिस्ट कराई हुई थी, विमल जी का टीसीएस काटना था, गलती से Amazon ने 10,000 की जगह 1,00,000 TDS डिपॉजिट करा दिया विमल जी का। My question to you is, who will take the refund of 90,000? विमल जी or Amazon? Let me ask you, Vimal ji or Amazon, who will take the refund? Quickly, Vimal ji or Amazon? कुछ भी लिख दो, V or A, anything. I will explain. If Amazon amend, then Amazon. Now let me answer it. Friends, अगर तो Amazon ने डिपॉजिट करा दिया है 1,00,000, अभी तक जीएसटी या रेट नहीं भरी और उसमें विमल जी को क्रेडिट पास ऑन नहीं किया, तो डिडक्टर तुम अपने एक्सेस 90,000 का क्लेम लोगे। लेकिन Amazon, अगर तुमने जीएसटी या रेट भर दी, विमल जी के नाम पे 1,00,000 ट्रांसफर कर दिया और विमल जी ने उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है, तो इट इज द सप्लायर, द डिडक्टी, विमल जी, who will be taking the refund. So refund of TCS is allowed to both the deductee as well as the deductor, depending upon whether it is credited to the electronic cash ledger of Vimal ji yet or not. Right? So moving ahead, friends, ये आपको पता है टी बोर्ड, आपको पता है टी बोर्ड आज से 15 साल पहले ई-कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म्स के थ्रू ऑपरेट कर रहा है। And they have said, yes, the T-board e-commerce portal, as I have some belongings to Assam also, and particular persons who are the tea traders, it is the highly advanced boards. All the auctions, everything goes online. They said, yes, the T-board, your portal is also an e-commerce operator. ऐसे रिटर्न फाइल्स होती हैं, ऐसा इनवॉइस दिखता है MMT का, और देखिए नीचे TCS लगा होता है, और इस तरह से अपनी कमीशन MMT चार्ज करता है। अपनी कमीशन के ऊपर वो 18% टैक्स लेता है, और TCS आपके अमाउंट पे काटता है 1% ऑफ 1079, क्योंकि ये रूम 1000 से ऊपर था, इट वाज अ टैक्सेबल सप्लाई। अब कुछ याद आया ये देखकर? Another 10 minutes, 5 minutes together, let's cover the concept of OIDAR and let's have a look, जिससे मैंने सेशन स्टार्ट किया था। बचपन में कितनी मारियो खेली थी? It used to be our favorite game, right? Now you have Netflix.
Madam, please, we will spare few minutes for question answer session also.
Sure, sir. I am winding it up in another 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, friends, e-commerce operator versus OIDR, Mario. Now you play all those games. These all are OIDAR. If I talk about OIDR, what is the difference? 100% automation, minimal human intervention. I give you an example. Facebook, advertisement on the internet, Facebook, Google advertisement, cloud services, GoDaddy.com, you have Ghana.com, you have Taxman. इसमें सामने वाले का कोई इंटरवेंशन नहीं है. All these are OIDAR. So two condition, electronic technology, information technology होनी चाहिए और minimal human intervention होना चाहिए. Taxman, if Taxman is selling books, no, it's not an OIDR. But if Taxman is providing you the online tax database, yes, it is an OIDAR. अगर थिंग्स ऑटोमेटेड है, ऑटोमेटिक ईमेल आता है, ऑटोमेटिक डाउनलोड होता है, ऑटोमेटिक रिवर्ट होता है, इट इज OIDAR. इफ देयर इज अ मैनुअल इंटरवेंशन, यू हैव टू डाउनलोड द ईमेल, No, it is not OIDR. So friends, in front of you, there are the examples: Prime Video, Facebook, Disney, Ludo King. These all are OIDRs. But where the delivery is to be acknowledged by the another person, Flipkart, etc., these all are e-commerce operators. So with this, friends, even if you use the Netflix services, there is a Google Play in between. If there is any intermediary involved, this person, then eco deemed supplier, Google Play will be considered as the deemed supplier, and all the provisions will get applicable. So I have, although our topic was not related to OIDR, but still I have given you the insight of OIDR. There can be overseas supplier also in this, and there can be normal B2B supplies also. So you can go through this concept. With this, I just end up my deliberation. Thank you to all of you for the patient listening. Thank you. Over to you, sir, for the query session.
Thank you so much, madam, with an interesting session with two-way communication. With this, if any members have any question, please unmute yourself and ask the question. Or you can raise the hand and unmute yourself.
सर क्वेरी ना आने के दो रीजन हो सकते हैं, या तो कुछ भी समझ नहीं आया या सब कुछ आया. सब कुछ तो जीएसटी में आता नहीं है. So any member who has any query related to the topic can ask, please.
Madam, one query is from Ekta, madam. If I am selling goods through Amazon.uk, then it should be considered as export?
Madam, how you are realizing the payments? If you are fulfilling the conditions of section 2, subsection 2, clause 6, then definitely it will qualify as an export of service, provided you are export of services or goods, what she was talking about. She wrote goods or services?
No, she written only export. Please, Ekta, madam, unmute yourself and ask the question properly.
Anyhow, I answer in both respects. If it is goods, then the conditions of section 2, clause 5, the only condition is the goods must be taken out of India. If that stands satisfied, 100% export of goods. If it is services, the payment must be received in the foreign currency, and the other conditions of section 2, clause 2, clause 6 needs to be satisfied. If those are satisfied, 100%, whether you are supplying through e-commerce, it will qualify as exports.
Then can I take the refund of the inputs of that goods?
Of course, you can.
Okay. One more question, ma'am.
Yeah, please, please.
There is a difference between the Amazon showing sales on TCS report and the TDS report on income tax. What sales I should consider? Because there are
Madam, can you please repeat? There is a difference between which?
Actually, जो TCS के रिपोर्ट में सेल्स दिखाया है,
Yeah, please.
जो TCS के रिपोर्ट में सेल्स दिखाया है Amazon ने, और जो TDS के रिपोर्ट में लाइक जो
इनकम टैक्स में,
राइट, वो दोनों सेल्स में डिफरेंस है.
मैडम, जब भी आप किसी ई कॉमर्स से डील फॉल करते हैं, आपको मंथली बेसिस पे एक समरी आती है उनकी तरफ से. Every month you get a proper report of which are the goods that have been sold to the e-commerce operator, which one is telling with the whether it is the income tax, और वैसे भी जो income tax का TCS की या other things की बात कर रहे हैं, वो आप उस पहले तो उस मंथली रिपोर्ट से टैली करिए. एक्चुअल डेटा इज व्हाट इज योर मंथली रिपोर्ट. इफ देयर इज एनी डिस्क्रिपेंसी, यू आर सपोज्ड टू राइट इट टू द Amazon that there has been discrepancy between the income tax and the GST returns and the monthly statements which you are getting from your e-commerce operator. Secondly, the TDS TCS provisions in income tax are different. Some are even on the payment basis. So there can be the reason of difference due to that reason also. So you need to check for that. But otherwise, please consider the monthly summaries which you receive from your e-commerce operator. And if you're not getting that, you can demand the same over the internet from them.
Even though whenever we get that report and when we tally with the payment report of the same, like Amazon, there are also some differences. Like they told us about their reimbursement. Then it's we should charge on that reimbursement also GST.
Ma'am, 100% as per the valuation of section 15, if there are any reimbursements, I could not actually got it what the reimbursement you are talking about, but whatever reimbursement otherwise are there, like BCS also take the reimbursement of the hotel and the other charges, all are liable to GST as per valuation. So you need to consider the reimbursement of the copy of accounts, because myself personally dealing with the e-commerce operator like GoIBibo, MMT, there has been no differences in our returns as such. So if you are facing any such difficulty, you need to talk to them and consider the monthly returns too, monthly statements too.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure.
One
And
question.
Kamlesh ji has asked a question. Export of service below 20 lakhs. Kamlesh ji, 10 by 2017 is the notification which talks about exemption from the export of any interstate supply of taxable services exempt. So hence, export is also interstate supply of services falling under 10 by 2017. Hence, many of the freelancers who are doing the work through Tax Guru platform, PayPal platform. So we give them the benefit, okay, till 20 lakh, you do not need to take the registration. But however, if they take the registration, they are not liable to pay a single penny if they take LUT and can take the refunds of the input. So we suggest them, if you have inputs, you want to take the refunds of those inputs, get registered below 20 lakhs even, although 10 by 2017 covers them. But yes, they are exempted from compulsory registration. They can take if they want to take the refunds of their inputs.
Yes, Mahendra Bhai, Kotadia, please unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
One of my clients selling product in Amazon USA platform, and he is getting order from USA and exporting goods piece to piece. So my question is, which document I should collect to prove export? Generally, in case of bulk export, we are collecting shipping bill. But
Of
in
course,
piece-to-piece export, we are couriering goods through courier company, TNT and so many others company. So which kind of document I should collect?
Sir, even if you are exporting through courier, they provide you a proper document, and export through couriers is very much allowed. So whatever goods you are exporting through the courier, they provide you the receipts that the particular goods have been exported, and those receipt numbers can be quoted there in your GST returns, and it will be perfectly valid as an export. There is no issue whether you are exporting through courier or otherwise.
And second difficulty is they are storing goods in Amazon warehouses at USA and getting order one by one.
Okay.
In that case, we have sent.
Sir, in that case, who is the purchaser? Amazon USA is the purchaser.
No.
For
Amazon,
you, the goods
Amazon is just storing goods on behalf of us.
Sir, once the goods cross the barriers, the custom frontiers of India, those have been considered as exports. So definitely, if they are storing the goods over there for some time, you are issuing the invoice in whose name? Are you issuing it for the customer over there, or you are issuing in the name of Amazon?
Actually, we are selling to customer, but
Absolutely.
when we are transferring goods, we don't know name of the customer.
Yeah.
Because order comes in picture later on. Once goods store it.
To my considered view, the goods are transported out of India. The goods
Yes,
are taken away out of India, and this is the only condition in case of exports of goods. No other condition. When the goods are taken, for you it is exports. Whether they are storing it there or not, that doesn't matter. For you, it will be counted as an exports. And you, furthermore, the exports are not even linked with payments. Although through some rules now they have been linked कि आपको 1 year में 9 months में export proceeds आने चाहिए, but otherwise it will be counted as exports for you in the same month when you are shipping the goods and you are getting the goods are being taken out of India.
and at what value we should pay tax, because we are selling goods at 100, and after deducting Amazon commission and other taxation of USA, we are getting around 60 to 65 rupees. In that case, what valuation we should consider?
Sir,
That is
according to
practical
me, you should
difficulty
book
there.
the gross sale at 100 rupees and consider the expenses that are the things, the deductions which you are making as an expense. And this is what we have been doing in the Guru and PayPal also. They are also doing the same way. You make the export of service, they deduct their commissions, and then for commission we claim it as an expense, and we consider the full amount as the amount there in the account itself, gross amount.
Means
As the
we are paying
exports.
two charges, one for Amazon commission charges, and second deduction is for relevant state tax of USA.
Okay. So you
100
can
out
take
of commission charges and less USA taxes.
Sir,
state
both
tax.
have to be taken as an expense.
Okay, then I have to pay 100 GST on 100.
You should take LUT, and you can
Yes, LUT,
export the
right?
goods without payment of tax, or if with payment of tax you are eligible for.
Okay, and third difficulty is in case of courier, piece-to-piece export. If we declare real valuation, then courier charges is very high. In some of the cases, courier charges is more than our MRP. So what practice is, people are doing export at as a gift or as a lower
Undervaluation.
valuation and like that. And that is a
Undervaluation.
practical difficulty to prove export. Otherwise, it is genuine export.
Sir, that I do understand, but can't answer for the same on the same platform. You can otherwise we can connect,
Sure.
because legally you are supposed to do it on the right valuations, whatever the courier charges may be.
They are ready to pay tax, but issue is whenever they are declaring value, courier charge is higher than his MRP. So it is not possible to do business in this practical.
We can
difficulty.
understand the practical operational difficulties of business as to the taxation point of views. We do understand, sir.
Okay, okay, done. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Trithaj bhai.
हेलो
Yes, both Trithaj bhai.
हेलो
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
अरे मैडम, काफी बार सप्लायर का जो माल होता है वो ई कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म पे से रिटर्न होता है, और तब हम तो सेल्स रिटर्न नहीं दिखाते, पर बाद में वो डैमेज या तो मिसिंग है, तो वहां से हमें
So you should report them. Sir, वो भी
Okay.
तो अपनी supplies less करते हैं. As per the formula also, they are supposed to deduct the returns and pay the amount on the net TCS on the net amount. If any transaction is missing between you, because e-way का issue भी आ सकता है, otherwise भी आ सकता है, so that must be reported.
नहीं, मतलब क्वेश्चन ये है कि आईटीसी रिवर्स करना है कि सेल रिपोर्ट करना है, और वैल्यू क्या लेंगे सेल में?
सर, आईटीसी नहीं लेना है. आईटीसी आप अगर सेल कर रहे हैं and that is sale return, then in that case you are supposed to show it as a sale
Okay.
return, and a credit note required to be issued for the same.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, when 2B has come into picture, don't play with ITC. When a particular transaction is related with the sales, go through the credit notes and deduct the sale amount, not no adjustment in purchase. वो जुगाड़ वाला काम खत्म हो गया.
नहीं,
2B
बट वो जो अमाउंट मिला है डैमेज के अगेंस्ट में, क्योंकि क्लेम रखेगा, अगर डैमेज है या तो मिसिंग है प्रोडक्ट, तो सप्लायर तो क्लेम रखेगा अमेज़न के पास कि भी मेरा ये प्रोडक्ट
Okay,
मिसिंग है या तो
आप ये
डैमेज
कह
है.
रहे हैं कि आपका कोई प्रोडक्ट मिसिंग था.
यस.
सर, इन दैट केस देखिए, अगर आपका कोई प्रोडक्ट मिसिंग हो गया है, डैमेज हो गया है, इसका मतलब वो सेल हुआ ही नहीं. राइट?
Yes.
सो आपके पास दो ऑप्शंस, आप उसको, क्योंकि इट्स लाइक एन इंश्योरेंस क्लेम, इट्स लाइक अ क्लेम विच यू आर मेकिंग फ्रॉम द अमेजोन. सो या तो आप आईटीसी रिवर्स कर सकते हैं और अदरवाइज आप उसे आउटपुट सप्लाई शो कर सकते हैं. सो बेटर इज कि आप उस क्लेम को टैक्सेबल ना करिए और आईटीसी रिवर्स कर दीजिए. दैट इज अ बेटर ऑप्शन एज पर द लॉ सेक्शन 17 सबसेक्शन 5 आल्सो.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, madam, I think the last question I have, that is a practical problem like कोटड़िया sir has told. जब हम कुरियर यहाँ से भेजते हैं तो शायद सभी में शिपिंग बिल अगर हमारे पास नहीं है और हम अगेंस्ट एलयूटी अगर गुड्स सेंड करते हैं, that means this is not export because I do not have a shipping bill. I have sent it through local courier outside India.
Say it again. You have?
I have sent the goods outside India.
Yes.
Through courier.
Okay.
But I do not have the shipping bill. I do not have shipping bill. So it means when I prepared the bill, on the top I've written that the export against LUT without payment of tax. I think this is correct because it does not.
It is allowed, sir. 100% allowed. There is no issue in such. One of my client, he is dealing into furnishing products. So he's supplying to Australia and all other countries through courier, and they are providing us the export document also, and we are claiming it as exports and taking the refunds too.
No, madam. My meaning is that we are sending through courier, but I do not have export documents. I have only export bill, invoice bill. I do not have export documents like shipping bill, appendix, postal bill of export to. I do not have that kind of documents, appendix 1 or like that.
Sir, you need to get it from the courier companies, and they do provide the same.
I know that costing is very high.
But if you don't have that, it will not qualify as an export.
Yes, that's my point. Then it means I have to pay tax over here in India.
100%. Then you have to pay the tax on the same.
And I should not write on the top of the bill that against LUT without payment.
Of course, then you should not. It is not export.
Yes,
it is not export. Then in that case,
but right now, many of them doing like this.
Even if you have done so, now you are supposed to pay tax on the same because it has been considered that the goods are not exported within 3 months.
Yes,
so when the goods are not exported, you are supposed to pay it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, madam, for the formal vote of thanks. I would request our convener, CS Sanjay Bhai Chaladia. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Vimal Bhai. I'm audible?
Yes, please continue.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good afternoon all. On behalf of VKCP Study Circle, I, CS Sanjay Chaladia, would like to say that we all are glad to hear and had great time with an eminent speaker, CA Aanchal Kapoor ji, and got chance to acquire a very useful knowledge and enlighten us on today's topic. Includes section 2, subsection 44-45 of e-commerce, type of transaction in e-commerce, supply of service and deemed supply with latest notification. I definitely sure that this valuable knowledge is very much useful to our member of VKCP Study Circle and his practice. We once again would like to express our sincerely gratitude towards your such a wonderful knowledge and session, and we also look forward to having your session in our study circle on another topic in future also. And lastly, I thankful to all member of VKCP Study Circle for actively participate and make this program unforgettable. Thank you once again to speaker and all participants. Over to MC. Vimal Bhai. Vimal Bhai, unmute.
Okay. Thank you so much, madam. Once again, this is the first time in the session. Lots of answers from the participant. We got it. Okay.
It's all pleasure and many thanks to the lovely audience for their active participation. Indeed.
Okay.
Thank you. Any member have not
the session over here? Thank you.
Any member have not write down their membership number and name?
Yes. Sanjay Bhai.
Yes.
Last part of presentation, madam share one contact number for GST update. So kindly share that number so we can get regular updates.
Sir, I will share the entire PPT with the study circle members. So it will have my number also. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Here we conclude our meeting. Member, please note.